Yo, what up, man? Push one in the chat if you can hear me. Let me turn it on. All right, man. Welcome back to the Black Brain Trust. This is Open Chat number 56. Please hit the like button as you come in, share the video if possible, hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust, including those posted on Community tab. If you'd like to engage in this discussion, there'll be a link in the chat for you to click on. When you click on the link, make sure you raise your hand so that one of us can acknowledge you and advance you to the panel. Just as an FYI, there is a new Zoom update, release 5.0.1. Make sure you update your Zoom client before joining the panel. Okay. Let me make one more adjustment, and then we'll get started. Give my monologue as well. Just give me a second. Let me update this. All right, man. I need to update it one more time. I'm not gonna. I'll wait till the end of the live stream to do it. What's going on, man? Everybody's been talking about this brother C.J. King and his graduation and his statements, and so what has happened, from my observation, what I've noticed today and last night, is that there's an attack on the agency of the brothers, man, who do well, who are productive. You have unproductive Black men who sit on live streams critiquing productive brothers on whether or not it makes them look bad, you know, with these statements, and it makes you look desperate, it makes you look thirsty and stuff like that. Actually, it does not. What these guys don't understand is that when you make statements like that, you're going along with the matriarchy. You think you're red pill, you think you're black pill, you think you're all these other sort of perspectives on life, and you really are not. You're really not that much different than the women. Okay? What's happening here is that people are trying to take on the fight against this brother and don't realize you're coming at the Black Brain Trust for that. You're also coming at guys like MOT. You're coming at the most productive Black men as a whole, and you're making it seem like you're only talking to this one guy. In reality, you really got a lot of angst against good brothers like this. Well, he shouldn't be bragging because, you know, people graduate all the time. Not necessarily. Let's look at this data. Okay? Look at the data. Let me pull this up for you. I'll share my screen real quick. This is from the AmericanProgress.org. Okay, this is the statistics about Black achievement in America. I'm just going to read the recommendations off right here. It says the analysis findings show that considerations of equity in higher education must go beyond where students enroll and whether they finish to examine what they study and what credential they earn each year. Okay? The United States fails to educate thousands of Black engineers who could be among the nation's highest earners, and thousands of Hispanic educators as well, who could be helping young Black and Hispanic students feel more confident and do better in school. Okay? This is key. This isn't me making this up. This is what I found just a few minutes ago. This was released last year, early last year. In addition to the lost potential to improve economic prospects for thousands of Black and Hispanic families, this creates a competitive disadvantage for the United States and risks leaving scientific breakthroughs undiscovered. You have brothers like C.J. King who are graduating at the top of their class and doing well for themselves. He's a part of this 10%, the 10%, okay? I think he's 6 feet, fairly handsome in shape, and has a JD now. Okay, he's in the top 10% of Black men in America, just off of that alone. And you got people sitting on streams who are not even in the top 50% talking about guys who are in the top 10%, man. It's crazy. How did something like that even happen? And people feel confident about this. It's not even the women that are doing this, it's the men that are doing this. You know, he should take cues from Pookie and Ray Ray. How can you take any sort of cues from failed men? That's what a Pookie and a Ray Ray is. It's a failed man or a failed Black man. And so I say all that to say that I think what's happening here is that people are starting to show their true colors, man. Let me finish reading this real quick. Include racial equity measures in federal accountability structures. At the federal level, existing systems for holding colleges accountable do nothing to address how institutions serve Black and Hispanic students. In some areas, such as student loan default rates, the federal government does not even collect data on outcomes by race. Breaking down outcomes data by demographic group is necessary step to ensure that that colleges strive to provide equitable path to graduation for all students. Okay, I'm just making this point. I'm bringing this up because he's a part of a very small demographic of Black men in America, and we're not even valuing this, right? He shouldn't have said this. He shouldn't have said that. You can't even walk in this man's shoes. How are you going to tell him what he should and what he shouldn't say? All of a sudden, you got guys who are PR agents on live streams. Like, what are you talking about, man? A man who is underprivileged, underserved, marginalized politically, he shouldn't say anything? What are you talking about? That's the whole purpose of Black male agency, man. That's what we strive for. And you have people saying, no, you shouldn't do these things. If you don't support what this brother is trying to do, because you're against Black male agency too, you're no different than the rest of these enemies out here. But I'm glad people are making these live streams, because now I know who to unsubscribe from and who to take wrenches from, and as well as refocus the channel of the Black Brain Trust so that we don't align ourselves with some of these people, man. You're against Black male agency, you're an enemy. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, man. Let's look at the numbers. Look at this real quick. There's a lot of numbers here. I'm not going to go over all the numbers. I just wanted to see if I could find the numbers for Black male graduation rate. If I remember correctly, in this whole entire analysis, it's it's under 40%, which is the lowest of all groups in America for Black men graduation rates for in post-secondary education. Okay. Let me get back to this real quick. Yeah, so what's happening here is that people are making these live streams, throwing this brother under the bus, trying to coach him on what he should and what he should not say, whether or not he's mode 1. He is mode one. He's being upfront about his agency. That's mode one for me. See, everybody wants to make this about whether or not you can get women, and I know guys who are working as blue collar and they get women. This isn't about getting women, man. It's about knowing your value, knowing your worth. And you have a bunch of people who are saying, no, man, you shouldn't do this. It just makes black men look bad. No, it does not make educated black men look bad. What are you talking about, man? Well, what about his student loan debt? Why are you so concerned about that? These are red herrings, though. That I expect red herrings from unproductive black men. Okay, it's the language of an unproductive black male. What does he look like? Listen to these live streams. Look at the comment section. People are telling me that race and class are separate. What are you talking about? Race is class in America. Before it was African American and before it was black, it was called the Negro class or the Negro family. And you have people trying to tell me that that doesn't exist or that was old. When did it change? Black is still a class. It's not an ethnicity, it's a class designated by ethnicity. So the idea that that's not relevant, you don't know your history, man. You don't know your history. The black community, from a cultural standpoint, does not value meritocracy, right? So performance is never to be measured by anything. That's why some people are trying to say, well, I know guys who don't have degrees and they get women all the time. Yeah, because there's no sort of measuring stick for masculinity and manhood. There's no measuring stick. How are you going to measure it? You crash the system. You've basically reduced everything down to zero, and now what you're trying to do is measure everybody by swag. That's what this is about. That's why they're saying, well, Pookie and Ray, you should just take advice from them and look how assertive they are. They're not assertive, man. They're malformed. There's a difference. Okay, there's a difference. Donald Trump is assertive. Okay, that's assertive. Some dude walking down the street, unproductive as can be, trying to holler at a chick is not assertive, man. That's not assertiveness. That's somebody who's unfocused. If he was really successful, he would actually be able to demonstrate that outside of dealing with women. You don't need game from women who are cultured. You don't need all that stuff. Okay? We got a lot of people who don't want to see black men celebrate themselves, celebrate their achievements. Because those people who don't want to see it are the people who don't have any achievements to measure up themselves. So what they do is they come out and they want to tear him down to reduce everything back to zero. They want to hit the reset clock. Okay? They want to hit the reset button. And so I find it interesting, not so much about the women. I don't care about what women have to say, but I hear men going in on him as if he's wrong. And then these same people will sit up here and talk about building a black community. What kind of community are you going to build with somebody who's trying to tear down male agency, man? Coming from other men, exposing their maggleness. And then pretending like, whoa, no, man, I'm just giving my opinion. No, you're a sucker. You think you're different and you think you're a red pill, but you're not, you're none of that. You're about as blue pill as they come, man. You're worried about what other people think. People who are red pill don't think this way, man. They don't think like that. You're not red pill, you're not black pill, you're none of that stuff, man. Cut it out. And you can't Google your way out of this, man. You can't Google your way out of this, man. Ain't no way you're gonna stand next to brothers like us who put in a lot of work to get to where we at and say that we should be worried about what this guy is saying because It makes us look bad. What kind of nigga who claims to be red pill says something like that? We don't care about the public relations piece. He already got his degree, man. Very few black men have a JD. I think like less than 10%, at least according to this. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. We got Super Triz on the panel as well as DE Raptor. Shalom.
What's going on, Mike V?
Shalom.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we really need to point out, and some of the articles pertaining to this brother, kind of a misnomer. They mentioned that he has a graduate degree. Now, as we know, a graduate degree is a very broad term. Graduate degree means that you have a degree in post baccalaureate level education. So that can include a master's degree, that can include a PhD. What makes this degree so unique is that it's an actual, what you call a professional degree. So we have to make that distinction, because you can have a PhD, you can have a master's in underwater basket weaving, but the actual burden of performance to obtain such a degree is very low, as opposed to a JD degree, opposed to a medical degree, opposed to a degree in astrophysics. So we're talking about something with not only the challenging coursework, but we're talking about something that's very competitive to even get in the program. And I don't care what program you're taking, anywhere in the United States, to get into a law program is very, very competitive. So you have to be on track, the right track, for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about the hard work necessary, that really is actually doing him a disservice by claiming that he is where he's at because of hard work. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I just came from Walmart. Did a couple grocery shopping. I saw several employees working their ass off. They know about hard work at Walmart, believe it or not. Some of the employees, not all. But look where they're at and where he's at. The difference is that he made a sacrifice. And it's a big difference between working hard and making sacrifices. That delayed gratification is what got him where he's at. And nobody has any problem when you go on Instagram, you see people taking pictures of the back of their head after they got a haircut, talking about their waves. You don't see people criticizing men when they're taking pictures and they're showing off their new Jordans, or they're taking pictures, they're showing off some jewelry, or they take some pictures and they talk about how tall they are, or their physique. Some of these things are by virtue of things that they were inherently given, like, for instance, certain hair textures, based on the fact that perhaps there's somebody within your lineage that's not black. That's what contributed to you having a hair texture that gives it that unique wave pattern. But beyond that, there's so much people, quote unquote, popping their collar over nonsensical things. But here we have somebody who through hard work, perseverance, and sacrifice has achieved something that not many men, not just black men, men in general. When we look at the amount of people who have a law degree or any type of professional degree, it's a very, very slim number in comparison to the population at large. So he has every right to make that proclamation, as with many men who don't. I applaud him for doing that, because he's speaking for a lot of men in that same position. Hard work, perseverance, and sacrifice have achieved great things and don't get the recognition that they deserve, whereas men who do little to nothing, make no sacrifices whatsoever, other than waiting in line to get the new pair of Jordans. These are the men that are actually praised and congratulated.
Thank you.
These men are just as arrogant and cocky as anybody you can imagine. but they don't get the same backlash and vitriol that this man gets. The reason why he gets such vitriol and backlash is because, let's be honest, very few men will achieve what he has achieved. Now, it's possible, but who's going to make that sacrifice? Who's going to take that step back to take 2 steps forward? Not many men. And they understand that. And they want the metric of performance to be something that they can compete with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you for that, man. That was
I
dope.
mean, yeah.
Go ahead, MOT, go ahead.
As you can see, I mean, I made this video for tomorrow morning, but I will share the comments right now. You got convicted pedophiles sitting around here. Who told him to shut up? Who told him to turn his platform off? You got people around here who selling game into their 50s. Who told them to shut up? You got people who walk around here perpetuating gang culture. We have a whole music industry who does that. Who told those people to be quiet? Mm-hmm. It's like, the reason why they don't want this dude to talk is because they're not going to benefit from his labor. That's pretty much why they don't want him talking. They don't want black men with self-esteem. They don't want black men celebrating anything unless you're celebrating their power over you in the actual situation. This is where we are, man. Dude, listen, man. The enemies of male agency isn't women, it's other men.
Absolutely.
It's other men who climbed up this ladder that they shouldn't have climbed up. You know how you feel claiming how much game you got, and you look around, this dude's right here set for life, and they still have to keep reclimbing that ladder like Donkey Kong? Like, dude, it makes him look stupid as hell. Mm-hmm. This dude is actually going somewhere because he focused on himself for 4 to 6 years, which is not easy. Even if you do got parents with their stuff together, you got to keep your mind on them books and manage every relationship around you and not get Me Too and do all this other stuff. This is an accomplishment. This is what happens when you stay focused on your goal. You goddamn right you can brag about that. We have a whole social media culture that's, people want to be seen for beating their kids. People want to be seen for contour and makeup. People want to be seen for hoping that a black man is dead because his actual resources didn't go back to the community.
Absolutely.
But when you use social media to talk about actual things that take work, everybody's mad. Like, dude, hey man, at the end of the day, man, this is why it's okay not to fellowship and brotherhood with these type of people, man. Because they will, in a heartbeat, throw your ass under the bus for that respect of people who they shouldn't even be around, man. And it's just that this is just another test showing people that no matter what happens, no matter what it is, they want to reduce the actual male accomplishment to female validation. Oh, he shouldn't say anything. I'm like, dude, look at all the people who are talking. How many times have they told all these other people to be quiet? Nobody. Nobody even cares about it. And guess what? Mike, I'm telling you right now, if they think that this is going away, dude, it's going to be a lot of people mad. I endorse people today. Endorse people to talk about your accomplishment. Shame the hell out of these non-productive people. They should be out of here. If this is what you're mad at, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get it all day. Yeah. Nobody asked you to be good at an unfeminine woman and not do anything for the so-called community that you claim to care about. This dude right here can change a lot of people's lives, man. But if he were to release a rap album, it would be okay. If he was talking about how much game he got, that would be okay. But actual real accomplishments, that's not okay, and that's not endorsed. From the same group of women that now wish they had a guy like this. Right now, 44 million people filed for unemployment. This dude's set. Even through all that, this dude's set. I'm telling you, man, these dudes are a problem, man. But don't worry about it. We're just going to take this conversation in another direction where they can't reach it. So that way we can reach the younger people with it. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, no problem, brother. Let's go to Renaissance, man. You got his hand raised.
Hey, what's up, panel?
Chilling, man, chilling.
No, crazy. Crazy seeing the reaction, especially the thing that stood out to me. This brother is a lawyer. We all hear about how unfair the criminal justice system is, the legal system, police brutality. And here you have someone who is now in a position to change those things. And he's being attacked. That's crazy to me. The other thing I was also going to add too, with regard with Super Triz was saying with the distinction between professional degree and master's degree, with a law degree, if you're a CPA or an MD, you're going to have continuing education credits that you're going to have to keep up. So that's one of the big distinctions right there as well too. With if you just go get a master's, you do that and you're done. This is something he's going to have to continue to maintain, as well as there's professional societies that you're going to be a part of as well, with standards you're going to have to uphold as well. So it's a major accomplishment and responsibility, and it's crazy to see the reaction to it. I was going to ask, has anyone reached out to him? Anyone from the manosphere?
I don't know. Somebody said he's from the manosphere. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I just thought it would be interesting if someone reached out and did an interview with him.
I'd be interested in knowing more about that as well. But I only heard that he's from the manosphere, or he may have been from the manosphere at some point. I mean, why would he put it on Instagram? I don't know. Let's go to DE Rapping.
Good afternoon, everybody. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, when I read the article, when I read his words, what purported to be his words, I thought to myself, I mean, somebody's going to do something bad to this guy. And they did worse than that. Serious. Oh, man. This guy, he could have just got his degree and do what a lot of other men like him are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk away, go find himself a woman in the Middle East, China, even Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't do that. He came back and wrote a letter to Black women saying, look, you are saying that Black men are this and this and this, and you can't find one. Okay, I put in the time, I put in the effort. Here I am. He is not, you know, he is talking to us. He's talking to the women who are always complaining about us. But those same women and the men who they control are going in on him. They are trying to ruin his life. I mean, they're trying to ruin his life, make it so that he cannot work. If you see some of the comments that I've seen about this brother, they're referring to him and talking directly to him. And, you know, they're making it so that he's like a pariah and they have to take him down. And that's what they're trying to do. You know what? You're talking too much. You gotta shut up and listen to what we have to say. That's what they're telling him. And I agree with him, man. And if he already put his time in. I mean, that 6 years that he had to put in is that's a lot of work. That's 6 years out of your life that you gave up. You understand? And you're not giving it only to benefit yourself. You're giving it to benefit your community. He is actually giving it up to benefit Black women.
But this isn't about Black women, DE. This isn't about Black women.
What I'm saying is that I understand the male agency part, but he, like I said, he didn't, you know, gut it, walk away silently from the community. You see what I'm saying? He got it, and he came back to the community and said, "Okay, here I am. I put in the time. This is what I'm coming back to my community." That's what I get from the article that I read about him, from his words.
Yeah, let's go to Farrell. Has his hand up. Ben's
Can you
game.
hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
What's good with it, man? What's good with it, man? You know, it's you know, I'm glad that you touched on this because so far, on my circle, there's been some black men that have gotten their business off the ground due to this whole pandemic as well. So I have to congratulate them, and it seems like I'm seeing a lot of more black men thriving. And seeing this come around the corner, you know, it makes you wonder if if black men are misandrous themselves. And
Yes.
and I can't. It's the irony of it, and the whole thing about it is that when you teach about black male agency, you tell a man that, you know, he chooses his own destiny. He chooses where he wants to go in life. And it's really confirmed that dudes don't want to even have control of their life because we're in this gynocratic matriarchal society, specifically for the black community. Men are really content in being in this situation. They are really content of you letting women dictate the terms on how you move. So my thing is that if that's what you want to do, okay, you need a little, you know, the concubine or whatever role you need to serve, but don't come and impede and try to railroad what competent, you know, successful black men, what they got going on. I looked at this post and I sat right here and I looked and I was like, this man is literally, I mean, they're literally talking about the Black Brain Trust, archetype.
Right.
Because this is what we talk about, this is what we thrive. And I'm glad at the beginning of the show you said that you're going to have to start subscribing, start taking ranches. You really are, because you got some people that's trying to play both sides of the fence. You got some people in the chat right now sitting over here saying that, oh, he was only seeking for black women's validation. Okay, it was his post. He didn't sit right there and share it. Somebody was on his post, wanted to be known. They sent that themselves. That man can say whatever he wants on that post. And what was on that post where he said, I didn't read not one lie on there. So somebody got triggered.
Yeah. Let's go to Chaos. I think Chaos is away.
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Go ahead.
Well, I saw it yesterday once I shared it on, I think it was on the community tab on YouTube. And I say, oh, that's great. That's a great accomplishment. Very good for him. Any person that's saying something negative, either women, and some of the dudes, which should not be surprising, it tells how low we are as a people. That we should, especially as men, we should give combinations to our own accomplishment. I mean, he did this for himself and on accolades, you know, saying that I am going to be productive in the community or any community I stand. There should be no negativity on that. To find that a man or any male going to say something negative about that is telling. And it's obviously going to be a fact we hear from some of our women. Even today, me and Mary talked about this. I mean, well, he didn't mention his name, but I mentioned it briefly. One woman said that he's gay. And the next one said, how come that a man got a degree and it said he's surprised he's considered gay? This is a very low level thinking. And it tells me you don't want no actual man. You just want somebody for control. I hope I'm making it clear to you, guys. I hope I didn't break up.
Yeah, it sounds like you're driving too.
Yeah, I'm outside. The wind is blowing, so
Okay.
this is less loud. So I'm like, I don't want to scream too much.
Yeah.
You get me? But you follow me. So to find this level of our people is very telling. It's very sad.
Yeah, make sure you're practicing social distancing as well, Mr. Rain. Let's go to Johnny Blaze.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
All right, man, what's going on?
Hey, not too much, man. Hey, I just read the Instagram post probably about maybe 5-10 minutes ago. I caught some live streams earlier today, but I'll say first off, congratulations to the young man. You know, he did an outstanding accomplishment. You know, I'm sure it wasn't easy for him. But for as you know, the thing he said, he was very honest and he was very factual. He laid out what he wanted, but he used their talking points against them. That's basically all the things that they've said. He said, okay, I meet all the criteria. Here you go. And I'll compare it to that woman who was on Facebook, the initials AD. You know, I'll compare it to that. But hey, this guy did what he had to do. He's, you know, making his way in life. What's wrong with that? And I'll pass the mic.
No, it's one of those things that, see, we know that misandry comes from, you know, the gynocentric portion of the community, the other side. But to hear it from men is what I find alarming, right? I find it alarming, you know, especially this article right here from the AmericanProgress.org, the neglected college race gap, racial disparities among college completers, right? And it says right in the first paragraph, for many years, the conversation about equity in higher education has focused on serious gaps in access for Black and Hispanic people. Awareness has also been growing that getting into college is not enough. Black and Hispanic students are also much less likely to graduate. Black men have the lowest graduation rate in this country when it comes to college. Okay. Now, here's one area that I found about an hour or so ago. Black men actually, when it comes to certificates, specialized certificates, we actually outpace everybody else, which I found to be very interesting. So anything less than 1 year, we're good at that. Anything goes beyond 4 and 6 and 8 years, we lack in all those areas. And so we actually dominant over white men when it comes to associate degrees. But when it comes to bachelor's degrees, white men outpace Black men almost something like 2 to 1 or something like that. It actually, the number is actually more astronomical. And when it comes to masters and PhDs, we're actually way behind Black women. I think Black women make up like something like 10%, 10% delta or something like that. So there's just a lot of areas that we're just not really at the top of, and then when you get to that point, someone is pushing you back down and telling you, no, you need to cut it up. I think that's part of the issue for me, and it's coming from men. It's not really coming from women at this point. It's really coming from men. Let's go to Johnny Blaze.
Hey, so this kind of reminds me of something. So this morning I had to teach class. I had a lecture, and I did review with my students today, and I told them they're going to have a test this coming Thursday. I'm going to give them about 90 minutes to go ahead and do it. So I had one of my male students call me. He's Black, and he said, "Hey, look, you know, I need your help when it comes to this test." I said, I'm like, "Okay, kind of explain to me." He says, "Look, the only time I get to do my tests and my real studying is when my kids go to sleep. I have 3 young children under the age of 5. He says, if you can please open the test up for me to take, you know, later at night when my kids go to bed." Because I said, "Yeah, absolutely, you know, no problem. You know, thank you for letting me know this, and I'll work with you." But the level of dedication this man is putting into it, you know, his wife still works, he's in school, and he's got 3 young kids under 5. I mean, that's determination. You know, this guy wants to do something better with his life and for his children. And I have to, you know, take my hat off to this man for calling me to explain this situation to me. So Black men who are in college, they're out here, they are trying, and they don't get enough credit because they're out here trying.
I was the same way. When I graduated with a degree in information system security, cybersecurity, nobody was supporting me. Nobody celebrated my graduation. I got a lot of hate from my own people. Most of the hate came from my own people. It was people from outside the community who were more celebratory of my success than anybody else. So, you know, I see this all across the board. So, and that was, 12 years ago. So I see the same thing happening, the same events happening again. in regards to what this brother, the only difference here is that back then there was no Instagram, but now you have Instagram and other forms of social media, and you can get your bandwidth is a lot more broader. And I think what's happening here is that people are still not comfortable with Black male achievement. I mean, when Obama came into office, you saw a lot of, this teeth grinding from all sides, but that was post social media. Now you got the age of social media, and you see a lot of it just coming out. It just comes out rapid fire. People are just not comfortable with you being in that position, man. They want you to go back to what they think you should be in. We have to ask ourselves: is this really the future of the community? Do we really believe that this is the way that it's going to be going forward?
Well, Mike, real quick, I just wanted to jump in and ask a question. And it's really for anybody who can answer this, but I've heard you on many occasions, Mike, talk about and break down the fact that in the Black community, for whatever the reason being, we take the gangster archetype seriously, meaning like if you're 50 Cent or Jay-Z or whoever, or even a Nipsey Hussle, we'll take you seriously if you're breaking down some game, whatever that game may be. Nipsey talked often about cryptocurrency, which some people don't know. So if he said it, if he was still alive, it's taken seriously. Oh man, that's deep, man. Nipsey talking about crypto. But if a brother that went to school and did his thing, like the guy we're talking about, CJ, if he talks about it, we don't take it seriously. So I was just curious if anybody can maybe explain to me, and I think that's important to break down, at what point did that actually change in our community? You know what I mean? Where we started taking dudes with swag seriously over brothers that are actually accomplished.
Third wave industrialization. So there's actually a good book. Let me bring up the book real quick. And so to answer your question, where did it break down? It broke down during third wave industrialization. Third wave industrialization is IT and automation, okay, and robotics, okay? Once those jobs started shifting out of Detroit and those other blue collar states, the opportunities for those Black men became less and less and less because they did not have the level of education to compete in those other, in the new industrialization. And
you're
so
talking about jobs like the steel mill and whatnot, right?
Yeah, so your blue collar high school dropouts and stuff like that, they were able to go there and get a decent job, okay? Flint, Michigan was the breadbasket of Black America's, wealth and stuff like that, at least in Michigan. What happened with third wave industrialization is that a lot of those guys who could not compete because they did not have the level of education actually had to hit the streets. And so street culture inevitably took place as a form of measure for Black male achievement. So when Nipsey Hussle opens up a strip mall or something like that, he's celebrated. When Robert F. Smith does what he does for Morehouse, he's wrong because of who's on his arm, or because he doesn't have the cool factor, especially who's on his arm. It also adds into the less cool factor, right? So Joseph C. Phillips wrote a book called He Talks Like a White Boy. He talks about this in the first chapter, that this cool factor that Black people really go for is what's causing a lot of these problems. It's not allowing, give me a second. It's not allowing any sort of innovation. And innovation comes from having an imagination and having a complex conversation together that drives innovation. We don't imagine ourselves being outside of what we already, of what they perceive us to be. And so nothing complex comes out of that. And so no innovation comes out of that. And so you have the cyclical rate of 40-plus-year-old guys trying to teach you game from a perspective that's not really productive, okay? You can't, what you do in the Black community cannot be transpired anywhere else. It doesn't work anywhere else. You can't take game to the continent, it doesn't work. Can't take game to Latin America, it doesn't work. For whatever reason, Black people seem to think that that's the business. It's not, man. Go to China and talk about running game on the Chinese and watch how fast that gets you tossed up out of the country.
The other part of that equation that you're talking about, Mike, is that we are born and everybody around us saying, see how he looks? He's going to be a basketball player.
Pop culture.
He's going to be a football player. He's going to be a rapper. He's going to be a superstar. See what I'm saying? No, it is to get somebody, find somebody to put a book in your hand and tell you, look, sit down, don't move from there till you can read. If you start doing that, the people in your family is going to say, leave the boy alone. Let's go out and play some basketball, bro. See what I'm saying? So it builds that culture that you're talking about that started, when they lost all the jobs. They didn't say sit down, especially the black leaders didn't sit down and say, look, we got to start creating our own, or we got to start building something here so that the future doesn't look like it is. The next generation is going to have something. They didn't do that. And black people don't leave their community. They born in Detroit, and whatever area of Detroit, the north side, south side, Indiana, Chicago, west side, never left the west side. Don't go downtown, don't go on the south side. You know what I'm saying? And if they go downtown, it's got to be with a girl from west side, not a girl from going to the University of Chicago, or you know what I'm saying? It's got to be somebody who either in the same mindset as you, or you're not going. So we have this localized mentality, and it began with, like you said, all the jobs moving, and today it's continuing. Because what's happening today is that the people who are responsible for these little kids' education, they are trying to box you into that corner, not as the box that they put you in is not raising you up. They're not raising you up. They're putting you so you looking up at them as they rise. You're watching them, and they tell you, don't worry about it. They're patting you on the head and making you believe that what you're doing is great. You're a drug dealer, man. You're cool, man. Got money. But in the meantime, those same people are getting their degrees. That's why you see there's this big separation between the male and female in the black community who's going forward, getting degrees and all that. The parents are pushing the girls. The parents and friends, and you might get politicians even doing it. You know what I'm saying? But the boys, they're keeping the boys in that box. And the boys are coming up saying, you know what? We got to celebrate the women. And that's what's happening. They're celebrating somebody other than themselves and raising up the level of somebody else and keeping themselves down.
Yeah, let's go to Farrell. He got his hand up.
Yeah, it's just, the thing is that, it's good that you said something about the third industrialization, because reading through the books and stuff, especially with Thomas Sowell, the Black Redneck and all that, it really, it's like the pendulum swung like the other direction. And especially me, from listening to what my dad and the stuff he been through, because he's from the south side of Chicago. And it's like a trickle down effect when they took everything out of like the jobs, the warehousing, and they shipped everything. It was just hell. Your women, and it's funny because BGS said that they said that black men changed through throughout that whole entire time, but that was further from the truth. It was actually your women that changed. And that's because whatever was, hot at that time, those dudes were the apex in line, which was like your drug dealer, your trap boys, your go-getter, your hustlers. And the thing is, majority of them are not even here to this day. A lot of them either incarcerated, they either 6 feet, or they just they don't have really too much to tell you. I mean, other than, like you said, giving you game in which you can't utilize with other culture. I mean, because to be honest with you, game, if you break it down, game ain't nothing but in terms of getting over on somebody. You're taking little hacks and you're getting over on somebody. As far as financially, either picking up a female or to get money out of somebody. That's all that is. And that's nothing but a parasitic mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We have literally adopted a parasite mentality where we can sit over here and glorify that in the community. Over your thinking black men who actually have, this skill in all the sense to actually uplift it. Jason Black was on a live stream last night where a guy from IT from the UK called in. And pretty much Jason Black was pretty much saying that, well, this dude, the guy from UK, was literally like 3 times ahead of the brothers back here in the States. So to Jason Black, he was like, I understand that you have to get certified and you have to get your experience. But he said majority of your black men can't even get their foot in the door. A lot of black men don't even have mentors and idols that they can go to that can lift them up in the fields that they're in. Because for other communities, that's not promoted. It's not promoted that black men go and get their IT, get in STEM, or go in and get a skilled trade. All that is just frowned upon because you have women that have the mentality as in, they run the community. I hate to say that, but it is what it is, the matriarch. And the thing about it is that Jason Black's whole thing was that we have to find out our way to get these black men in the door first. We have to get them in the door first because we're tired of sitting over here giving people warnings and giving people, we have to wait to get ourselves together. No, like now is right now. Like by the time 2050 was who said it was a D rap to somebody's 2050?
No, that was no, that was Dr. Claude Anderson, 2050.
Dr. Claude Anderson, yeah. Saying that we're gonna have a zero wealth gap. I argue to say it's gonna be way before that.
It'd be negative. It'd be negative.
It's gonna be in the negative. I'm like, hey, this coronavirus done showed it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm living here in Atlanta right now. You got women that called in on his show sitting over here talking about in debt. Not even with student loans, with other things, credit cards. You have women from my city, Atlanta, calling in Jason Black talking about they was 8 to 20 grand in debt on credit cards. They ain't got no job.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got no job. That's just credit cards. Imagine what the student loan is. Imagine what the car note is. Imagine what the mortgage is. System homes in Atlanta, $300,000 to $400,000. Don't let them fool you. It's expensive here too.
Yeah, let me go to Renaissance. Got his hand raised.
Yeah, now I was just going to add on what you were saying, Mike, about the coolness factor. I was going to add, even that in and of itself is distorted, because one thing that stood out to me, this was a couple years ago, with the whole discussion about Russell Wilson and people calling him lame and corny. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, let's look at Russell Wilson's resume. This is a guy who's won 1 Super Bowl, almost won 2, has what, $100 million contract, and in college, left football to go try out his hand at Major League Baseball, came back, was in the discussion for the Heisman Trophy his senior year, and then obviously went to the NFL, comes from a good family, dad is a lawyer, I'm like, you take that person and put them in any other community, and he is like the archetype of success. He's the person that every person envies and wants to dream and wants to be. And I'm like, here we are calling this guy lame. And I was just like, it was just more to me. It sort of showed, like you were saying, there's something, it has to be something associated with street culture. It's not even, we can't even go in the definition of what would be considered cool in just average society.
I think some people got on Russell Wilson just because of the he kind of married a babe, you know, who was a single mama, and he was kind of playing that role. And people like, you know, why is he taking this chick with a baby and all that when he can have other kind, you know?
Rightful criticism there, but I heard that, you know, you heard that crack against him even before he got with Sierra from other people as well. That was my only point.
Oh, I mean, I didn't really hear much cracks on him about that. When he won the Super Bowl, he was the man. People were pissed off because they didn't give him the MVP for his victory. I think they were kind of holding it against him like he was a brother, and I think people kind of rallied around him. That's what I thought, at least around my friends. But then again, none of us. I guess maybe some would consider some of us to be lames, but at the end of the day, I thought he was pretty lauded. I thought the criticism that I really saw from him was, I kind of think after he got with Ciara, I feel like this was a bit of a simp. What's he doing that for? That's the criticism that I really heard on him, heavy on him. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that that there are many people out here that look upon the accomplished Black person who comes from a good family and so forth as lames, because we do feel it's great to give credit to Black dysfunction, and that means you're down with the Black cause if you're down with Black dysfunction, and I say fuck that.
Well, the thing is, it's become pop culture. Street dealings have become pop culture, and that's why you hear certain people comparing Nipsey Hussle to somebody like Marquise Brownlee. I mean, it's bizarre that something like that can happen, but in the Black community, that's normal. That's normal. They'll compare you to some extravagant, not extravagant person, but someone who's far out of the running in the demographic, because what they're doing is they're resetting the conversation, or at least the benchmark, down to zero. So therefore, they don't have to actually make a choice based on meritocracy. They just make it based on what's cool, the cool factor, right? That's part of this big problem, that a brother who's graduating is being seen as looking for validation from women, but in reality, if the shoe was on the other foot, that happens every day. B, you know what I mean? People, you know, when the other side graduates, Essence Magazine has a whole entire festival celebrating these people. Ebony Magazine has cover shoots with these people all the time. Go to what's the other platform? Black Girl Magic and all these other things. They got whole entire movements to celebrate the success of those people. But when it comes to Black men, there is no platform for them to be celebrated. There's not even a magazine that caters to Black men at this moment. 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
Mike, there are plenty of platforms that celebrate Black men, but they don't celebrate necessarily the men who productivity stems from them sacrificing.
Right, exactly.
So you have you have platforms for men, Don Diva magazine, what's the other one? Mediatek. Like you got all these so-called hip hop oriented stuff, and you know, and this is the issue, because hip hop in itself is the marketing. Mm-hmm. So you have this draw towards a certain lifestyle because hip hop markets that.
Yeah.
There is no marketing for men who are productive, because men are productive are busy being productive.
Right.
Like
if you create
the productivity, the productivity for hip hop, that's their actual work. So their work in itself is the marketing, whereas the work of those that are productive goes uncelebrated.
And anytime I see a platform get created for men who are productive and who should be celebrated, that platform gets attacked. And they try to take it down by any means necessary. And anybody who is the face of that platform is also attacked.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think black men need to start celebrating their successes a lot more frequently.
That's what we
We need to
talking.
start marketing ourselves as productive men, because there needs to be there needs to be another form of aspiration. Like instead of aspiring to be athletes and rappers, which is fine. I'm definitely not saying that people shouldn't do those things or shouldn't aspire to do those things, because that puts people in position to actually create generational wealth if used correctly. I make no mistake, but we need to be looking at other avenues as well, things that actually have a functional a role in society. Because if anything, this COVID has showed us what really matters. Because all those rappers that that making music, they were stuck at home. They couldn't do any shows. They were sitting at home,
So
and they were being
freestyling.
irrelevant at home.
Yeah, freestyling into a live stream.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Oh, what's going on, dude? Let's go to DE Rap. He has his hand raised, and then we'll go to Art Mustal.
Oh, I said what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Art.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody?
Today.
I thought I'd chime in because this is pretty much my neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of people hold their hat on the fact that a lot of us drop out of college, because a lot of times a lot of people going to college not really fully thinking out their career choice, and so I think that's one of the things that we really have to put out there more, because I mean we got thousands and thousands of majors in these colleges, but at the same time different people are taking the wrong majors. So I think that's one. The other part too, I think a lot of you guys took a lot of words out of my mouth, but for sure, we go through this all the time when we talk to some of the parents, mainly our mothers, and I'm gonna keep repeating it. A lot of the mothers try to talk down the ideal of their sons being educated, but yet the daughters are encouraged. So
these are facts.
So that's the thing that
I've seen it, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, this the thing that we keep in mind. And I know two of us in this channel, or on this live, is they're in fraternities, and we have lots of programs that reach out to young brothers for mentoring and getting scholarships and getting them on the right path. But man, sometimes them children are hard to find, because most of the time they're catering towards sports. So that's the thing that we have to find ways to really identify those that are really ready to take on that. And then there's one last thing, is there are some people that probably have your 2.5s and 3.0s that just as eligible for people that have high GPAs that are college ready too. I mean, that's the stuff that we have to identify, because time is getting shorter and shorter every minute. So that was it.
No, that's dope stuff, man. Art, thank you for coming through and blessing us with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just want to say something, Mike, if that's all right. And I don't know if anybody's got their hand up. I don't want to.
DE has his hand up. Go ahead, DE, and then we'll go to.
Like, Mike, from what I'm going on from what Art just said, a lot of people make a living off the plight of black men.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like the politicians talk about how they're going to fix the black men problem or the black problem, the problem with us being in jail, the problem with us being dropout, the problem with us being sitting on the street unemployed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, they make money off of us, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And with us being in this position where people are making money off of us, they can't make money off the guy who is going to school, spend 6 years in school, become a doctor, a lawyer, pharmacist, or whatever profession he decides to go in. They can't make money off them. So it is like they have to keep this lid on, and they do their best not to let anybody at all come out from that hole that they dug for us.
Let's go to Complex. I think he has his hand raised.
I have my hand raised, Mike.
I don't see it.
I did.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, if Complex wants to go, if he wants to go first, I'll go after him.
Hey, you got somebody in the chat calling you, Nagone.
Somebody.
Go ahead, Nagone. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Oh no. Complex, if you're up, man, go ahead, man. I ain't stepping on your toes, brother.
No, go ahead, because I'm just coming in. I just clocked out, so I was just coming in on the live stream, so I wanted to kind of get a synopsis. But you go ahead, and then I'll just kind of have.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that I want to say is, that's why it's very important that we do have mediums where we're able to talk and brothers are able to kind of get together and kind of give information and give what I call real game. If guys want to give game about women and so forth, that's fine. But game that I've seen more or less from that woman's perspective is all about, you trying to run game on a lot of on dilapidated hoes and running up on young chicks who are riding the cock carousel, running the cock carousel. You're wasting your fucking time to a large extent. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go after the game guys. They're sending out. I'm not trying to get in the way of their money, but productive brothers have to avoid a lot of that because, quite frankly, your game is you being on top of your game, and these women will always be around. You see them coming back through here, rolling around, come back even through the manosphere. A lot of older chicks coming back around. They were young now they old. They come through the manosphere to find somebody else. They're hanging around like a fart in a phone box because they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Don't worry about them. The bottom line is it's where you're going, which is most important, and that's what we really try to push here more than anything else. Because at the end of the day, man, as we keep saying, we don't have really a lot of folks really looking out for us, and we have a lot of enemies within our community, and I see the very productive brothers who are out here who are pushing a very strong, positive front line. That's not getting out as much, certainly, the no meritocracy and a lot of the crap that's going on, brothers just talking, this Black Power stuff on all this, of which I'm totally about, but the consciousness guys and all that, they're not doing shit. When I'm in Harlem and I see Dr. Jeffrey Canada in Harlem in the children's school zone, I talk about that all the time. They're educating people, so that and them are right down the street. They ain't opening up no schools. Jeffrey Canada is driving around, Toyota Camry, and this guy's driving around a 500 SEL. Who's doing a lot more? Who's really educating kids and really pushing this thing over? Who's not only hitting the Harlem school zone, but also who's pushing, let's say, the technical, tech Harlem as well. Who's pushing that? It's not these street cats walking around talking a lot of smack. So we have to kind of look at where our bread is buttered. We got to move towards that direction. We really have to really talk about tech. This is a tech society we're coming into. We're moving into a tech society, and it's advancing. Even under this COVID and everything else like that, they're going to be moving a lot more. Huh? Say that again?
No, I said, what's good with you, Nagone? I recognize your voice. What's good, bro?
No, Chaos, please don't interrupt people when they're talking.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? But anyway, So when you hear a lot of these other guys talking craziness about game and let's do this and then yet you see a lot of us are not getting well educated. You have others being pushed on top of you. We really have to be very concerned about that because that's us. And education is very important for us. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get a degree, but certainly getting certifications, certainly getting good vocational training as well, getting involved in a lot of these industries that are going to be moving up and certainly taking over in the next 10, 15 years that are going to be all over that's going to be running everything. And we're not going to be in that. And I just want us to really kind of put a lot more emphasis on that because that is the most important thing. Women and all that, they're not going anywhere. Don't worry about them. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. So don't worry about them. They're the least of your concerns. I just look here in the manosphere. You got chicks in their 40s coming back like bad. They're coming back like bad 7 boomerangs. Here they come back again. And you don't have to do anything. You're just sitting here and they're coming up in this piece, running behind you. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about these people. They are the least of your concerns. We have to talk about career development. We have to really get into that, and brothers have to really be on point on that a lot more than worrying about stuff that I say is so unimportant to us at this stage. So let's let's just keep that whole conversation going. People talk about you're not the prize, or you don't worry about whether these women think you're the prize or not. All right, at the end of the day, they don't have any choice, because when you're the prize, they don't have any choice. It's not a question of what they think. It's not important what they think. It's just not important. So what's important is how we develop ourselves, how we develop. And that's really what I just want to say up front, because I see we're putting too much emphasis on shit that's not important. That's really not even germane to what's going on. One thing I have to say about this COVID, it has opened up a lot of shit. It's pulled the cover off. It's pulled the cover off, and we're looking at raw America. We're looking at what this shit is really about. And we got to get on game. We got to get on that real game. Because at the end of the day, we've been hit hard. Black men, our health is not as good as it should be. Education certainly not as good as it should be. We're getting hit in a lot of ways, and this is a wake-up call for us. The critical one. We have to, seriously talk about, moving forward. We're definitely mentoring here and so forth. But I'd say every brother who kind of knows any other young cat, if you know him, just mentor them one at a time. I don't care if it's one person. It's good enough, as far as I'm concerned. As long as we're just consistently pushing and moving the objective forward. A lot of these guys who are out here talking a lot of crap and running up, they like things the way they are. They like things chaotic, fucked up, derelict, because they can benefit from that. The women too. A lot of people like shit the way it is. You know what I'm saying? They like shit the way it is because they can get easy pussy. They can run up and sit up in somebody's crib and lay on somebody's couch and eat their food and hang out, give them a little dick every now and again, just drop them off to work and come back. That's good for a lot of folks. Some of these people like this. They do. They like, some of these guys like the way the shit is. Or a few other guys can sit here and walk around and say, oh yeah, I'm conscious. Girl, let me show you what this is all about. Do nothing, and then, oh, he's a brother. Oh, look at him. Serve him up, and he's getting served up, and that's great. He don't have to do shit. That works for him. That's not working for the overall general situation. It's not working for us in general. So we have to look at what's really working for us, what isn't, and start to strike down from there. And that's it.
Yeah. Let's go to Complex Design because he has his hand raised.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
Oh,
sorry, I'm kind of late to the game. You already know me, West Coast life, so I'm always behind the ball. So I'm trying to get caught up to speed. What's gone on? What's happened now?
What's happening, or what has happened, is there's been a lot of criticism over a brother named C.J. King who graduated recently with his JD.
Yeah, the guy with the Juris Doctorate. Yeah.
And the antagonizing isn't coming from the opposite side, but it's actually coming from within Black male circles. And so some men think that chastising this brother and denigrating this brother is constructive criticism. Okay.
Well, and what would be the reasons for doing that?
Well, there's a variety of reasons. It could be envy, it can be jealousy, but at the end of the day, it's still considered misandry. And they think they're above all of that, and they're not. So while they say that they're a certain kind of pill, in reality, they're just as misandrous as the opposite side.
Okay. Exactly. All right. Let me kind of give you my assessment on that. Because earlier this morning I was listening to another live stream where people were kind of talking about this, and so a couple of things, right? Amongst the hierarchy, the social hierarchy of men, you just have those who are of a lesser caliber, and so they are going to have they're going to have these positions that they hold on people who ultimately will hold a higher position in society over them. So the only thing that they can do, naturally speaking, is one of two things: either offer their services to these people and to be somebody that's going to be helpful to their cause, or they'll pose as some sort of hindrance or some sort of obstacle, right? Or they'll be the person who objects to what this person attempts to do out here in the world. And that's just the reality of it. Like that's kind of how the hierarchy of men operates, right? See, so if you move with a modicum of intelligence, right, then you'll understand the importance of stealth. And you may not want to put certain things out there, which kind of leads me to my next point, and sort of like what this guy did to kind of spark all this, right? He's a Juris Doctorate, and he goes and he says, hey, I'm the prize, I'm the prize, I'm the prize. And then he says, hey, yeah, don't hate me for this at the end of the little post. And so the takeaway from that is, one, look, you know, if you're gonna put the value of something out in the open, it then becomes open to evaluation and scrutiny, right? So if you say that I'm the prize, yeah, because I got a Juris Doctorate, okay, there's plenty of people with Juris Doctorates who work like menial day jobs. So let's not jump the shark here. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is that if you are the prize, then shut the fuck up about it. Like, dude, just move. Like, those who will recognize, they'll recognize. And those who recognize, that's the attention you need to be getting. You need to be getting that attention from those individuals. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think this whole thing, even allow me to finish here. Even it's still juvenile. This is still a bit juvenile. It's like, okay, dude,
he's putting out a message.
He's putting out a message. I get the message. I get the message, right? But I'm kind of seeing beyond it, because I think even the message is, okay, so let's just put it like this, right? Unless he's got some sort of plan built in place for this Juris Doctorate, right? I could kind of see an issue already. What? Hold on, dude. I don't know who that was. I could see an issue already with a law firm hiring the guy, right? So they say, you've got very provocative social media, footprints and stuff like that. We don't know if that's going to be, something that's in alignment with our firm and stuff like that. Like, I'm saying that I get the message, but you're using the Juris Doctorate for what? To prove a point to sisters, or to actually apply it in the real world?
So I don't think that's the case, right? Based on my observation of the post itself, whether he said anything or not, he was going to have the Juris Doctorate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, popping champagne bottles for what he's done, for his achievement,
yeah,
couldn't be a negative either.
No, that's not.
Yeah, but rappers go around and give out turkeys on Thanksgiving in the same community they don't tore up, right? And nobody ever says, they shouldn't be, they shouldn't be celebrated, man. In fact, they get more celebration for the little that they do versus the amount that, the other brothers actually do. You get somebody like Robert F. Smith, who paid for the slave museum, museum in Washington, D.C. He's done more for the Black community in the last 30 years than any of these critics have to say, or these misandrous males have to say, right? What I'm saying here is, so what if this brother got on social media and said something? So what? It's not hurting anybody for him to celebrate himself within his circle. So
that's not that
comment and ran with it. That's the key point, that someone took his comment and ran with it.
And Mike, that's my whole point. And Mike, Mike, that's my whole point right here, right? Because as Black men, I think we have to kind of understand that things don't quite work for us the same way that they work for everybody else, right?
So
it's not really a so what. So it's like in order to maximize on these sorts of things, I'm not saying not to celebrate. I didn't say that. There was something though that he put in there that was a bit provocative, and he did a bit of trolling, and this is what has caused this uproar. And I'm saying that look, you could celebrate that the part about being the prize to black women and shit, right? That's the part I'm talking about.
The
Like
community, what I'm saying is the community has about 10 to 12 different platforms that celebrates the opposite side.
Hey, Mike, there's no argument. Mark,
I
no
had a woman
argument.
the other day tell me
No argument.
that she was the prize. I had a female say,
Hey.
well, women, we're the prize. And I said, say what? I said, no, I said, men are the prize too. Well, yeah. I mean, she's a lawyer. She's somebody who I'm seeing, but she came and said, we're the prize. I looked at her like, you know, at the end of the day, you may think you're the prize, but you could be a fucking nightmare as well.
Why is this an
Can I
argument?
have one question for
yet they
Complex? Can I have one question?
Very comfortable saying that.
Lagon, I just want one
Nobody
question.
questions them. Hey, 1 second. Nobody questions them. They can say that all day long. But the minute a brother comes up, you got sisters getting tight, and you got these other shine bone mullions coming up on the side saying the same thing. What the fuck, man? Why are you saying that? And these are like the other guys, you know, on the internet, no teeth, no nothing, talking shit, coming down on the guy like this because he has made accomplishments. Fuck that.
Okay. All right. I just want Mike. I just want one question for Complex. Sure. I understand your concern. I understand all that, but I have a question for you. So how is, since we're in the age of social media, how is one brother supposed to communicate his success to another brother if he doesn't say what he has accomplished? We don't have any. Essence is not putting that shit out. No, it's Black Enterprise. No, any of those other mediums.
The best way.
Wait. I'm not. Wait. Okay, I understand, but I'm just trying to understand. He put a question to Black women because Black women has been saying this for the last 40 years about all the negatives, and he used those negatives to say he is everything that they said that he is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want from you, because I understand what you're saying. I'm torn with this, but but I have to big up another brother who made it out of that crucible of making it out, and I have to give it.
Wait, hold on. I'm not. Look,
no. I'm not saying Complex. I never said you said that. Please don't say that I'm making an attack to you. I just asking you. I just want you to tell me how we are supposed to celebrate that. That's my question to you.
The way we celebrate it is by doing business with each other, by enriching each other. Like in all actuality. I mean, you know, I don't know. That's
not a celebration.
Well, no. He said, well, how do you sell it? Well, I don't know. Let me answer the question. I have a different idea or a different notion of celebration. Like, so for example, I got a homie, it doesn't really matter. I don't have to mention his name, but he's a Juris Doctorate, right? And his wife is not Black. And, you know, it is his idea of success. And I'm just illustrating to him because he's a Juris Doctorate. So his idea of success wasn't really just highlighting the fact that he is now the prize because he got a Juris Doctorate, and then basically letting Black women know that, yes, I am the prize because I have a Juris Doctorate. That really wasn't the MO.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, now you see, you not because I said, how do we celebrate a brother? Because who's that? Somebody's talking?
It's me. I was trying to answer that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I would say that you could celebrate. You can go skydiving if you want to. If that's how your form of celebration. I'm just saying that, like, I don't really see where the celebration comes in. That's where it's one thing to just say, yo, I'm proud of what I just did.
So wait, because this goes into my question. This is where it goes into my question, because it wasn't to the age of social media that we were able to actually celebrate Black men, because this culture was also putting us down
Torch,
for
the
everything.
question I asked you is where does the Black woman part come in the celebration?
Wait, I was gonna try to explain that. Okay. With social media, we're in a. I try to explain it all the time that we're now in a. We're like the we're not like the Boer collective, but we collectively share thoughts on what we're doing and how things are going, because we never had this opportunity before. Black men have never had this opportunity to discuss, except for local barbershops. But this is like a digital barbershop where we can exchange ideas and understandings. He's telling, I agree with you in some parts, that the way he phrased it was not optimum. But
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I applaud him for all the things he have done and what he has tried to do. And to me, he's a perfect candidate for SYSBM, because that's
fine. What does
You
Black
know,
women have to do with anything? What do they have
part
to
of
do
this
with
is misandry. They're looking at this brother saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are, man? Shut the fuck up."
This
nigga.
is what happened to Kobe Bryant.
You got it. You got your law degree. Fuck you, nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's what these motherfuckers are saying.
But you
Whether
already
cats,
know. You
whether
already know
you cats
that's what you're gonna get from them. You
whether
already
you
know.
cats understand it. No, we don't
you're
already.
missing the
No.
point, Complex.
We don't already know.
Different
No,
than
we don't already know. The bottom line, this brother came out here and got and basically got attacked on
All
some
these
misandrous
red pill
shit.
discussions and we
Hold on a second. On this misandrous shit, and then here you got these sisters who many of them do not like you, though. And then you got these shambling fucking loose shoe chicken and biscuit eating fucking niggas fucking following behind them who were sitting back there fucking big upping them because what? They ain't doing shit.
And it's not as if we didn't know these people existed.
And at the end of the day, when they see brothers like this who are achieving and making moves, it's gonna make the game a little tougher for them if shit like this continues to go on. So they don't want they want to sit there in that dysfunction, but at the end of the day, the misandry on this brother that has come out has one more again been highly revealed about what's really going on in our community.
Is it a surprise?
And what we're really looking at.
Is it a surprise?
But Complex. Here's the thing.
It's tearing the cover off. It's tearing the cover off the ball. It's ripping the lid off. One more again. And this is what you're really looking at. And I sit here and I see these brothers going after other brothers up in here, tearing each other out the frame.
Is that a surprise?
And then I look at these niggas like, you niggas are fucking crazy.
Nagone, is any of this a surprise?
You motherfuckers are crazy out here.
But it's not about Complex. It's not about whether.
At the end of the day, this brother should be on the top of the Empire State Building talking about I got mine, I'm the fucking prize, and dangle his nutsacks out on the top of the motherfucking.
Suppose.
That's what I feel he should be doing. All right, fuck them all.
All right, let Renaissance. Let somebody else get in there.
It's not about what we expect the response to be from derelict men and derelict women. That's not what it's about.
Yes.
It's about not only changing the metric by which real masculinity, real manhood is judged by.
Right.
It's about setting a precedence.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's done is he's established his own personal marketing campaign. Now, for those of us that were raised in certain households where education, for some people, vocational skill, some type of contribution to society at large was valued. When we see somebody pursuing something as a Juris Doctorate, we expect that. We expect somebody to pursue something that has some value and merit outside of the quote unquote Black community. But there are some children growing up, some men who are, of age now where they have to make decisions about their future, where those values were never instilled in them. What they see is the massive marketing campaign by the quote unquote hip hop culture, by athletes, by other guys who come into quick money and do stupid things with them.
Exactly.
And so now you have somebody who understands the value of money because he had to sacrifice to get to where he's at. Not just hard work, but there was a certain element of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to have some other examples of other routes for young men to go. And see, we take certain things for granted because, again, based on our upbringing and the morals, values, ethics, and principles instilled in us at a young age, we see value in pursuing professional degrees. We see value in learning a marketable skill and trade, whereas other people don't see that value. So again, this is about marketing, not just about trolling and making women upset. I mean, yeah, that's icing on the cake for some people, but at the end of the day, we got to look at other people that we want to bring up too. Like at least now there's an actual draw to it that is on par with the draw to other things such as athletics and entertainment industry.
I mean, it's unbelievable that we're having this conversation. Here's a man got his Jerry Zucker said, I'm surprised, and people are that upset. This shit is crazy. Well, I mean, it's insane. I mean, this tells the whole story.
Well, come on, man. Like,
I mean, this tells the whole story.
Let me go to Renaissance Man.
Wow. Go ahead.
Hey, no, I just wanted to not to gang up on complex or anything. I just wanted to generally ask for some clarification. I know you had mentioned that you thought his statement was provocative. I was just curious what would you thought was provocative, because the way I kind of read it was, here are, the standard talking points that have been used against Black men for whoever knows how long. And I sort of took it as, hey, this is your criteria that you set for men. You've even acknowledged yourself that there's a limited number of these men. I have now put myself in that category. I am thus your gold standard, your prize. So I just was curious what you thought was provocative in his statement.
Well, the thing is, because me being the same guy, it doesn't fucking matter. That's why it's like, dude, just get on with it, dude. Like, go actually be purposeful with that Juris Doctorate. Like, the Juris Doctorate does not prove some sort of overarching point to Black women. Like, it doesn't matter. It's already been proven. I don't know how many different times. What the fuck? It doesn't matter. The only thing it does to serve to do is to create more trending conversation subject matter in Black social media spaces, kind of like this discussion now, and the one that happened earlier on Bernard Riley's channel, and what's going on Twitter, and every goddamn thing else. I mean, I didn't get from his tweet what he actually planned to do with the Juris Doctorate. I mean, that would have gave me more inclination as to how much of a prize he would actually be. Instead, it
doesn't make a difference. The name of the game, he's on the playing field.
But Nagone, my whole point is this: you guys, like, how many times we've heard the goddamn red pill arguments about how no matter what you prove to sisters, and no matter how much you do this, and no matter how much you do that, nothing's going to change. So I mean, what else would you expect from somebody who does this and gets pushback?
I kind of agree with you. You won't hear me fully disagreeing with you on that, because I already know how these motherfuckers feel. But at the end of the day, it's mighty interesting to see all of this fucking bullshit over a brother who sat on the prize, and these sisters are tight. And then you got
what else would you expect?
And then you got these shambling niggas.
What else are you guys expecting though?
Who are running behind them? These same guys who will fucking drop your channel and cut your nutsacks out. They'll talk shit.
What else are you expecting?
And here they are running behind these.
You got a motherfucker out. You got a motherfucker out here right now.
Hold on a second. That will run behind you. And they don't respect these Negroes who were running behind them either. They don't respect them either. So I just look at it, and like I said, I find it funny. I see it because I know some young cats right now who are going to school, getting their MBAs and shit like that. And I'm like, dangle your nutsack. Some guys are going to say, well, you don't dangle them until they may get them cut off. Fuck that. Let these guys know you got stones on you. Keep rolling. People respect it. Real men respect that shit. Okay, and you will be rewarded for getting down. You think this brother's gonna get fucking knocked out the box because he said that? There's gonna be some guys that are gonna say, I like this motherfucker. He got the stones that I like. Okay, I'm gonna bring him in my firm. You got that side of the game as well. Don't forget that. Fuck what these bitches think. Fuck with these sucker
If you say
niggas.
fuck with these bitches,
Fuck 'em.
then why even acknowledge them in the first goddamn place?
No, I was gonna say complex. I can't
because it's a conversation of the day, and I want some of these young cats to hear it, to hear this. I want some of these young cats to hear
the conversation that young
that's what I want.
The young cats, the conversation that young cats need to hear is that they are not a fucking priority to begin with.
No. What these young cats need to hear, because they don't hear from their moms and they don't hear from a lot of these sucklades in the community, is that, brother, you actually are the prize. You really are. And in fact,
you would intrinsically understand that if you didn't put women as a priority.
Let me finish. You are the difference, and let's continue and let's push this shit real hard. And every now and again, if your youthful exuberance gets out there and you shake your nutsack, I'm right with you on that as well. That's the fucking bottom line. And this is from a 60-year-old fucking nigga. All right, sorry.
Let's go back to Renaissance man. He was trying to make a point.
No. The only thing I was gonna say, the complex was, no, I see where you're coming from. I was gonna say I just didn't read it as like, hey, this is the purpose. I almost took it as someone could have. I almost thought in the back of my mind, I wonder if someone said something to him personally, like.
All right. Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Renaissance. Oh.
No, I think he's talking.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say no. I just took it as more. I almost thought someone could have said something like I remember when I was asking some person, they said their statement for going to an X and YZ was their ex said they couldn't. So I almost read it like that, like someone almost really kind of pushed him to do it. I didn't read it as much as, hey, this is the purpose of getting my Juris Doctor. That's all.
Yeah. See, the thing is, if we push this idea that he shouldn't actually do something like this. And like Brother Torch is saying, how should Black men celebrate themselves? And nobody really has a clear response to that. That shows that there is something wrong with the culture, that misandry is the mode of operation by the day, and everybody else is conforming to it. And so when I hear certain people on certain platforms going in on this guy, they think that they're above.
Like facts.
They think that they're above, that they're red pill or they're black pill or something like that. In reality, you are more blue pill than you can imagine, man.
Well, Mike,
most of these guys are blue pill. In fact, most of these guys are one sloppy blowjob away from jump back on the plate. And we've seen it. And we've seen it all over the joint. Look at all these niggas.
Wait. My assumption.
Look at this shit.
No, wait. My assumption.
I'm taking this shit serious.
No, my assumption here is that he went after a Juris Doctorate for a specific reason. Okay, you see, so his how you celebrate, that's your own personal imperative. I mean, you asked me that question. Well, how does a Black man? I don't know. Some people they go and fucking.
What he's pointing out, we don't have a culture of that. When in the Jewish community, they have bar mitzvahs, right?
That's like
we don't have what I'm saying. We don't have that as a culture. We just don't have it, right? French Montana goes out and buys a used Bugatti, and he's going to be paying on for the next 10 years.
Okay.
He gets a lot of celebration for that, a lot of thumbs up and whatnot. You know, other rappers or other street guys who come from jail for manslaughter or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And people celebrate that, and guys use that to their advantage. We heard it in the manosphere many times. Oh man, back in 1999, I was locked up for a homicide, man. I'm not gonna call out anybody's names. I'm just making the point. Guys use that as a show point for themselves of how much street credibility they have or how masculine they are. But when you got a guy,
you're a fucking what? You actually at the end of the day, you're a one-time fucking loser.
I don't have anything against convicted felons. I'm just making the point. Guys will use the worst benchmarks to measure their achievement and get a whole lot of praise for it. But you get one brother who's pursuing his Juris Doctorate, and all of a sudden now you shouldn't have said this or you shouldn't have said that. You should just kept it on the low. Complacency, that level of complacency is cowardice, man. It's
not. Look. Like I said, it's not. It's not about not acknowledging your accomplishments. That's not what it's about. Because I'm not. Okay, my whole point is that what do do Black women specifically have to do with a Juris Doctorate?
It's not about the Juris Doctorate. It's his achievement. Anybody who's been to college, man, for a rigorous program, it knows how much effort is put in to actually get.
Mike, I've achieved things in life, dude. And you know what? I don't know. Like it wasn't like I didn't.
That's different.
No, but it's not different because the thing was that like the impetus of it, I wasn't thinking that once I got to that point, the first thing I was gonna do was basically say, yeah, I got here. Now, yeah, what?
He beat the odds, brother. Do you understand? He's in the top 10% of Black America.
I'm not saying, dude, I'm not saying that he's not.
He's going against a certain narrative. You know, listen,
especially being from Louisiana.
He's going against a certain narrative. And listen, and the young cat, he's out there kind of.
I would argue that everybody on the brain trust is at this point, right?
Well. See, I'm not 20-something years old like this youngster is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot older than that. You know what I mean? It's a whole different game. You know.
Yeah.
So at times I'm definitely gonna operate differently. But he a young dude. He a young cat.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of passion that comes out of that because Dr. Phoenix, who was on
he jumped out there. He jumped out there. I can't get mad at him for that.
Yeah, Dr. Phoenix was on the channel last week and he talked about this before and just kind of briefly touched on the point that what drove him to go to medical school was someone, told him that he would never make it.
Yeah. And it was a sister. It was a sister.
Regardless if it was a sister or not, somebody told him.
But he did make mention of that.
You as a Black male coming out of Chicago would never make it.
Yeah,
right. You know how disgusting that is to hear from your own people say something like that.
Yeah.
Mike, you know how many times I done heard the N-word thrown out at my way out at the track and shit. Now, let me tell you something. I didn't get into motorsport to prove a point against racism, right?
But this guy didn't get his degree to prove.
And he didn't get it. He didn't get his juris. Did he get his Juris Doctorate to prove to Black women that he's the prize, or did he get his Juris Doctorate to do something great with it?
I think he got a Juris Doctorate to get something great with it, and then at the same time, he dangled his nutsack real quick. I said, that's all right, bro. I'm with you on that. I don't give a fuck. I'm kind of liking it. I'm liking the energy.
Let me go to there's people that got their hands up.
Go ahead.
There's people that got their hands up. Let me go to our RWP, Mrs. Evolving. She asked the question, I have a question for the panel. Does his feminine appearance matter? I'm not sure if you're talking about the person on the screen or you're talking about the CJ King. I don't know if he has a feminine appearance. I don't see it.
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the guy. Pretty much, he has that whole Odell Beckham swag. You know, they from the same state. So he got the whole yellow fluffy hair going on. Got the same. They pretty much got the same build type. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much like a de facto version of Odell, which women fawn over him if you go look at his IG. So I wouldn't say it's feminine because they got the same archetype. And also what I noticed is that if you, before you did the thing, I was actually on his page. He had a picture.
He's feminine. I'm suspect about that comment. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
No, good. But he also had a picture with a non-ADOS woman sitting on the steps. And as we speaking right now on my other phone, he took that picture down. So I'm suspecting that he did. She had on a red dress sitting on the steps. She had on a red dress. That little thing, man. And I was like, I suspect it was something more. That's how I knew it. I was like, bruh, this outrage is something more to this. And I seen that pic and I was like, oh, shit.
There you go.
He knew that shit was coming.
Yep, he took the picture down, bro. Boy, you should have seen the
shit out of here.
Let me finish. Let me finish Mrs. Evolving's point. She says the arch eyebrow or the eyebrows are arched and the tight clothes. But see, in Europe, had he been in Europe, he'd be a rock star. As a matter of fact, on the continent, he would be a rock star.
A suspect comment from, I'm just saying, y'all hear that comment, right? highly suspect. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm sorry.
That's the thing, right?
It consistently raises its Medusa head every chance it gets. Here it is, one more again. Sorry, fellas. I'm sorry. I'm not surprised by the comment.
Yeah, the thing is, that's a part of the misandry, right? Misandry isn't just about you ain't gonna be shit, nigga. That's one part of it, right? It's a fraction of it. But the archetyping of the black male image as something non-heterosexual, that's a part of the misandry. And so we have to make sure that we don't get caught up throwing other black men under the bus because of what someone else perceives as being less masculine, right? Because when European men, shout out to King Sigma, he had a whole expose on this, okay? There was a European woman at a football game who took a selfie with a brother in the back, unbeknownst to him, and she wanted to holler at him. And you had the same DWs come at her for trying to get with him, while behind the scenes, they was out there chasing the mayonnaise boy themselves, and the mayonnaise boys didn't look too masculine either. Okay, this is about the misandry in the context of how they perceive masculinity when it comes to black men as opposed to other men. So we have to be mindful of that. Let me go to Black Torch because he has his hand raised.
Well, I'm somebody raised something on Bernard's channel this morning, which
I'm
sound
not,
of fire. I know, but I'm just telling you that what somebody raised, and he says, this reminds me of, and I agree, of a type of Jim Crow, where they do this, especially now that we can jump the fence. This is the last ditch effort to stop this at any cost that they can. And that's what it is. I mean, you got to look at this as what it is. You know, he took down the picture. Why he took down the picture? Because they're going to come after that. I wouldn't have took down nothing. I would have looked at them and said, listen, this is the way it is. This is the
And
way
I'd have
it
been
is.
dangling my nutsacks as well.
And that's why I asked Complex the most important question, because we got to start celebrating each other and stop giving a fuck about what they think.
Bro, I don't give a, my daughter's right here, so I'm not going to say it. I don't care.
No, I'm not. It's Complex. I'm not attacking you.
I know you're not attacking. I'm responding to you. I don't care. And this is the reason why I would even question why you would even acknowledge them in the first place. If you actually didn't care, you would not even acknowledge them.
No. I agree with that. That point I agree with. But I'm just saying that the way he did it, maybe it wasn't strategic or it wasn't the optimal. But like I said before, I think it's only my personal opinion that, like I said, we don't have enough slapping each other on the back, congratulating each other. We do in this community because we realize how tough it is. But until we can have that freedom and we can get rid of the jackals and the hyenas, we're gonna be always fighting with ourselves.
We do have freedom, man. Like, that's the thing, man. This shit is all in the mind, bro. Like, you think I get out here and do things? Like I said, I don't do it to spite like sisters, because even though I am the quote unquote prize by definition, they just didn't recognize me as such. Dude, that's their fucking loss, man. Everybody's got to.
I know, but Malcolm said something that was interesting. I'm a student of history, so I like reading all this stuff about Malcolm. And Malcolm said something that was very interesting. We may be free, but if our minds are not free, our ass will not follow. And that's the problem. And social media has given us the ability to be free. It's given us the ability to say things that we could not say before. Because
you know what it is? You see, this is the thing, man. Complex is a bit he's an understated dude. I know Complex. I know where he's coming from. He's a bit of an understated dude, kind of low key. You challenge him, you put him in the corner. He gonna snap hard. but he's, you know, kind of understandable. I follow where he's coming from. I understand that this young kid came out here and jumped out here a little bit, you know, like I said, dangling his shit, and people got a little bit tight. I understand that folks may get a little bit upset about it, but as far as the young brother's concerned, and how I am, this could be my grandson, my son, somebody, a youngster like this young generation that I helped to raise. Nah, bruh, I can't get upset at nobody doing that.
And that's another thing
father,
I wanted to say.
As a grandfather, I've got to embrace this.
And that's what I was. That's what my. And that's my other.
And those who don't embrace it, they're not your friends.
And that's my. And that's my point. Zillennials or the latest generation don't give a fuck. They don't have those restraints that kept us from doing things. And that's the most important thing. This is their generation. So let them run with it. Right now, I might not agree with everything he says, but shit, I'm gonna hand him all the ammunition he needs to keep the fight going.
Yeah, I pointed this out. I'm gonna go to Triple X next. I'm pointing this out. This is Serena Williams' husband with her wig on this man's head, man.
And combing it too.
And he was loving it and sitting in her chair, man. All this talk about, you know, whether or not CJ King, you know, he might be a little borderline. What about this guy? What about him? This woman makes 200 times more than this guy's net worth, and no smoke for him or this disgusting thing on his head, man. I don't even know what this is supposed to be, like a mop. But this is what, you know. This is celebrated in the community. She got her man, right? Let a brother graduate with a Juris Doctorate, and they got a whole lot of smoke for him, man.
They got smoke for him.
Right.
They got smoke for
Mike.
y'all. Y'all got smoke for this brother?
Yeah.
Y'all got smoke for him? Y'all don't like Death Row? Y'all tell me y'all up here don't like Death Row? I mean, are you for real? Are you niggas for real up in here? For real? That's what's up? This is what we're talking about here?
If that was a brother,
this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, if that was a brother like CJ King, he would be considered a faggot, down low, all types of misandrous terms that can ever be used.
And in terms of somebody, he wearing tight clothes and he looked like he gay. Now all of a sudden he had a gay comment. I'm just saying, look at all the classic tropes that we have coming out on this brother right here.
No.
Look at all of this, man. Y'all can't see this shit.
Yeah,
Stevie Wonder can see this, man. From 1,000 miles away. What's up? We sit there conversing.
If we're using a measuring stick for masculinity, he doesn't fit it, man.
No. He a lame. He a sucker. He a fag. But he a fag. But some sucker lady coming out of jail with gold tooth, his ass hanging out. He done been shot a couple times, been fucked in his ass once or twice in fucking jail. But he coming out here like he live as fuck, and all of a sudden all the women are loving this dude. He correct. He's self-made. He's slinging rock. He's slinging rock. He's self-made. The fuck up out of here.
Let's go to Triple X.
Sick of this shit.
What's going on, panel? What it do, everybody?
Chilling, man. I'm chilling.
All right. Hey, yeah, you know, I've been sitting back. You know, I went to the brother's Instagram earlier. From what I can see, it looks like his dad or maybe his law firm, because he has a picture posing with two other people. And I think they related to him, and it says the King Law. And one of the guys looked older. So I don't know if this is uncle or dad, but it looks like he may have already have his foot in the door for something after school. If so, that's great. But, you know, on top of that, you know, I've been listening to, I heard what Complex said. I want to say, hey, Complex, you know, I got big respect for you, man. So it ain't nothing like that, brother, but some concerns over some comments that you've been making up here. The brother is out to be boisterous about his accomplishments. Those are major accomplishments. And I have no issue at all with him being boisterous about it. I don't think that was that brother's intent specifically to get the JD just to stun it off on black women. You know, obviously, you know, the pics with his uncle or dad or whatever, and talking about the King law firm. I'm sure his future was the top priority in that. You know, after those accomplishments, he want to stunt. Hey man, what can I really say?
Bro, but check it out. Black women have nothing to do with it, dude. They have nothing to do with it.
Hey, but Complex, he didn't do it for black women though.
Yeah, they created.
Then why bring them up?
Because they
Wait, because they shooting. They shoot, brother.
They've been shooting, bro. They've been shooting.
Yeah, they shooting, and he shot back. That's all.
Well, how do you shoot back?
Man, this brother, if he was my son, I'd be very proud of him. He'd be okay. I say, dangle your sacks. I got a new ride for your ass. I'm riding shotgun. I'm riding shotgun.
No smoke for this right here.
But folks got smoke for him. Smokes have plenty of smoke for this brother. But yeah, you got the derelicts running around. Ain't nobody got smoke for them. This is the dysfunction of our community, and it's coming out big time. And we got to call this shit out. We got to call this shit out for what it is. Why I say dangle your nutsacks? The top in the primate world, of which we are somewhat related to, the primate, the biggest primate, he dangle his balls in front of everybody. Say fuck you, nigga. That's what he do. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go to Johnny Blaze, the other team.
Oh man.
Okay. Hey, so you know, I'm trying to see this from both sides. I mean, now I'm trying to. What I would do, I would put myself in this guy's situation just for a moment. Now, if this was me, you know, got through the JD at this age, would I have put that statement out there? Probably not. I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. However, I can see why he did it. And I'll say this, you know, as men, you know, as Black men, you know, a lot of us do move in silence. You know, we out here making moves, you know, we don't advertise a lot of things that we do, you know, for good reason. But I think the other side, you know, they're out here really advertising all the stupidness and all the, you know, the fuckery or whatever else you want to call it. But at some point, we got to counter that stuff. Now, how we go about doing that, there are multiple ways. Now, what this guy did, is that one of the ways? Will it work? Yeah, possibly. Now, he is going to somewhat paint a target on his back by doing this, you know, but obviously he was probably prepared for that, because I'm sure he knows that it's coming. But I think, you know, people like us, we can discuss it, and, you know, we can find ways to support people like him, long as they are doing it for the right reasons. You know, hey, look, because the thing that we're looking for, we want men to get out here and be successful. And, you know, to me, success is always the best form of revenge.
Hey, Johnny Blaze, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't have you done that?
Me personally, because honestly, I don't think it's truly necessary, at least not now. However, and that part, because for me, I'm like you, I can kind of move behind the scenes. To me, it's not important. But I will say that at some point, you do got to counter all of the hood stereotypes and the misandry at some point. So,
well, Johnny, let me ask you this: don't you think that counter? I mean, there's a guy on YouTube, right? His name's Obsidian, and
I know him quite well.
Yeah, that's kind of like his whole MO, right? Yeah. And it's pretty much sort of like an ongoing thing, right? It's an ongoing back and forth and whatever, right? So, I mean, like, if we know that this is an ongoing back and forth thing, and we know that this is an ongoing thing that like a cultural sort of thing, right? Yeah. I mean, do you see it serving any more of a purpose than just say Black social media fodder? Like, hey, Complex. Could you see something further actually coming out of this other than just trending topics? Complex.
Okay, so
he a young kid too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying he a young. He's
probably what, 25?
Yeah. He's a young. Yeah. He's a young guy.
I swear to God, I got shoes older than his ass. Okay, I swear to God, I do. So what I'm saying is, look, I understand he fucked up a little bit, but that's okay though. I'm good with that. It's like in golf. It's like in golf. You can hit a ball fat and fuck it up. You can hit a ball thin.
We
You
gonna
win.
run
Even though
with
you
it
didn't hit
though.
right. It's still a good hit. So this is a good hit, bruh. This is a good hit.
All right.
I'm feeling where you're coming from, and I because I certainly don't want you to think I'm coming down on what you're saying, like you're a sucker, nothing like that, because you highly buttling. You highly buttling. But at the end of the day, he's a kid. He was a little bit exuberant, and I like it though. I like it
Sounds
though.
like this. Hey.
Yeah,
I like it though.
Johnny Blaze is talking.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Let me try to answer Complex's question here. Now, like I said, so you're saying like, does it create kind of a back and forth, like a little volley? Yes, I do think it does. So, what I would suggest, granted, and right now I'm gonna play Monday night quarterback or Tuesday night, whatever you want to call it. Basically, what would have been better had this guy said this stuff, hey, I got all this stuff, and just basically lay the parameter out. Hey, I'm a black man. Look at what I've accomplished. Hope to see more folks like you. Ladies, this is what you should be striving for. End the story.
I don't think that matters, man.
Well, I'm not saying it matters, but it's showing black men in a more positive light versus the, because, we got enough stories of the Nipsey Hussle types out here and all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, them guys are going to always get pushed to the front.
But listen, Kobe Bryant spoke several different languages. Yeah. One of the greatest NBA players of all time.
And he didn't have to talk shit about sisters, man. He just went out and got chips. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's a difference, bro. He was more cocky than anything. Anybody in the Lakers have already spoken about this.
Oh, yeah, but he was cocky. He was cocky in the right way, in the right fashion, dude. Kobe didn't get out here.
Who determines that, though, bro?
Mike, what I'm saying is, man, Kobe didn't get out here, right, and trash sisters, or not trash sisters, but he didn't have to do that,
sisters
bro.
Didn't want him.
Yeah. But
that's the whole point, and he didn't have to. And as a result, he didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was just get out here and be the best, bro. That's it.
Bro,
and you know something? And when Kobe died,
he still got
when Kobe died, they talked about him like a fucking animal.
And they're gone. That's my whole point. It don't matter.
Hold a second. And then the brother who stepped up. And then the brother who stepped up sat back and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna defend him." And then here comes another sister with a white.
Yo, can anybody hear me? Just kind of raise your hand if you can hear me.
I hear you, Mike.
Okay. I'm talking and then people are just talking.
I was just gonna say.
We can hear you, Mike.
Oh shit, Mike.
You unmuted everybody.
Yeah, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, the point that I'm making here is that this man, Kobe Bryant, died with his daughter in his arms. His body had not been removed from the wreckage, and you had all sorts of attacks coming against this brother. I don't think it has anything to do with your achievements, man. I don't think it
doesn't, man. They hated him.
Yeah, they don't like.
And then
I'm trying.
They don't like you though.
I'm trying to finish my statement, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
It doesn't matter if you got your JD or you're the greatest basketball player. There is a misandrous movement. He's responding to that. That's how I interpret it. He's responding to the stereotypes that he is the prize, right? What's the big deal about that? Well, he should move a different way. He should move like it doesn't matter. Kobe Bryant died with his daughters and his daughter in his arms. You think they had any recourse for him? Hell fucking no. Let's go to Tafari.
So true. So true.
Hey,
so true.
Yeah, can you hear me? All right. So I just wanted to speak to the situation with the guy's post. I think that he went about it all wrong as far as his delivery. Honestly, when I read it, I felt like it was more so a dig at black men. Just kind of like maybe a message to kind of like, oh, step your game up because I'm out here winning. But the way that he framed it, it was more so a message that probably was a hard pill to swallow for a lot of black women, just being reminded that many of the men who are considered the qualified brothers are not the ones that they want. And that definitely is a problem, because if they think that a guy's trash just because he goes and gets the JD, that doesn't make him a good catch all of a sudden. If they don't want him, they don't want him. And I don't think they should have to settle. And really, I think it also speaks to that we need to raise our standards beyond what they are now, so more of us can aim higher than to get past the point of thinking that we're the shit just because we got a bachelor's degree. That definitely needs to change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, Mrs. Evolving because she has a hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only problem that let me lower my hand. First of all, I want to say a good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes. My biggest thing with this brother is that, first of all, the comment that he made is regarding the criminal background. I personally thought that was just stupid, because for me, I feel like Black men, I have a 20-year-old nephew who, this incidences where he's saying he's being pulled over and a police officer searching his bag. I mean, at any point in time, a Black man could have a criminal background, or you say criminal background or some kind of record, and it has nothing to do with anything he really did. So I don't know why he made that point. To me, I feel like it was, kind of like a dig, but at the same time, he's a part of a Black Greek fraternity. So sometimes they're they don't mind, excuse my French, shitting on men who are not a part of Greek fraternities. They don't mind doing that. They don't mind making a man feel like you're on the outside. But another problem too with him is, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, he actually legitimately would be an educated Black woman's nightmare. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he would be an educated Black woman's nightmare, because this is the type of man that when you're out with him, listen, the accomplishments don't move me in any type of way, because I think in this country, all Black people should have some kind of skills and have something to bring to the table. It doesn't have to be a JD. It could be that you know how to, you plumbing or whatever it is that you know how to do, but go ahead and be the best at that, okay? But the reason why I say he'd be a Black woman's nightmare is a woman wants to know that when she comes around, the man is looking at her and looking at her and saying, okay, I see you put that extra time in that thing for me. Oh, okay. Oh, I told you I like pink. I see you're wearing pink. I told you I like your hair in that fro. I see you took that shit out your hair and put that fro on. I like you got that fro going. You want to know, this is the thing that I guess I'm very old fashioned. These are kind of things that I think, should be between a man and a woman. When I see a gentleman like this with the eyebrows arched and the blonde hair, but I'm old school. For me, this would be a type of man that, this would be a nightmare. Literally, you'd be out with this man and he'd be in the mirror taking a long time to get dressed. He's putting grease on his legs to get them pants on. I don't know how a man can get pants on that tight. I don't, the tight pants like that. I don't know how, and I don't even know why a man would wear something that tight, because it literally interferes with your package, if you have one. I don't know if the man, what's going on there or not. And see, I hate to say these things because it seems as if there's an attack on him as some kind of measurement of if he's masculine or not, and what makes a man masculine. And it is really not that. I think if you're with a circle of people who are educated and driven and motivated, how is that a conversation? It's like you out here going to school, I'm out here going to school. Yeah, we can celebrate, but it's almost like if you raise the standard of people you're around, you wouldn't have to even point that out.
Well, the thing is, how we define masculinity seems to change per racial group. So in this picture right here, had this been a Black male, he would just be considered a lame by their standards. But because he's white, he's to be appreciated. We don't know how to really measure manhood and masculinity in the Black community. Really don't know how. We don't have a fixed measure for it. I mean, the measure that we use currently is really based on malformed stereotypes that don't really amount to anything for a lot of men. So regardless if he has his eyebrows arched or his his skinny jeans or slim fit, whatever it is, that is besides the point, because he can change all that.
But Mike, that's not. But Mike, respectfully, that is not what he said on his regarding to his post. Regarding to what he posted, he was saying that he would be a prize for a Black woman. And I don't only speak it. He said so many things that anybody could speak on any one of the things. But it was that statement right there when he's saying that he's a prize for. Like I said, he would be an educated Black woman's nightmare, because you would want to talk to him and have a conversation, an intelligent conversation, but literally you'd be thinking to yourself, I think this goes the other way as well. If you're engaged with a young lady, entertain a young lady, I'm sure any one of you brothers would have a problem. You entertain a young lady, then she turn around, do some hood ratchet shit. You like, damn, why do you have to be so ratchet? That's the problem that bothers me. It's not him celebrating. I think he is a prize. Why? Because I think for him to accomplish what he accomplished is something that would have to take a lot of dedication. It would have to take a lot of focus. But again, like somebody else, and I think it was Complex Design that pointed out, like, Dr. Amos Wilson would probably, agree with this too. Is he doing this for Black people? Or is this na? Or, I mean, did you go to school and are you going to benefit the community?
What about this? What about this right here?
You see, you talking to the wrong person. Because to me personally, those pink bodies and those like palmy like that skin that they have, I don't. It glows in the dark. Do you understand? They're not attractive to me. I don't think they are more attractive than a Black man.
I'm not saying to you, I'm saying to to the opposition, they're okay with this. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
If he was Black, the rules would be changed immediately.
But that's a type of woman, Mike.
Huh?
But there's a type of woman. You see how he's there with his eyebrows,
right.
The hair is up top, but do you see her sitting there, look like she got some little identity crisis going on with her hair weave there?
I thought that was her natural hair. I thought that was her natural hair. I'm sorry.
It's not.
Let's go to our new stall.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think the word that I think Complex was touching on was being humble for your achievement. But at the same time too, like, for all the stuff that's been going on, I can tell, like, like Mike was saying, it sounded like it was more a response. I mean, all these things that a lot of these young brothers are saying is mainly a response of things that they have witnessed, things that they have experienced. And so, and you're looking at, think about all the odds that a lot of these brothers are up against when they're trying to make these kind of achievements. How many brothers you see as judges that are young, or police chiefs, or any of these type of things? These things are not being encouraged. As far as the sisters being addressed, me being a professional myself, more than half the time my professionalism is being challenged just off the cuff. So that's the thing, is that whether you are a hood rat or a professional woman, you're always going to have these situations to where when you're saying certain things and talking, I mean, you always have to be put under a microscope, where you see as a white dude with his hair missing and all that kind of stuff, oh, he's deep, he's professional. So I have eyes, I see these things. I don't say much because I know I'm not going to spend my rest of my life with them. But in the meantime, these things cannot be unrecognized. And I don't think the statement he was making, that he's going to be just, going months and days and years saying I'm the prize and addressing Black women. I think that was just a moment that he's going to use. And I think he's just going to move on with his life and do his thing. That's it.
All right. Let's go to. Complex Design. Let's go to complex design. All right, we'll go to Tafari. Go ahead, Tafari. Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
Sound loud and clear, Mike.
All right, let's go to Smooth then. Oh, you know what? I think people can't unmute themselves. Is that the case here? Are people having a hard time unmuting themselves? Oh, I have everybody muted. Oh shit. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now, Mike? Is my
Yeah,
mic?
well, we were muted the whole time, but okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's go to complex. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, I gotta try to think of it. Was something that I'm sorry, sister.
Mrs. Evolving.
Yeah, Miss Evolving. I'm sorry. It was in reference to something that she had said, but I just want to reiterate a point here, right? Like, I think I myself is like, I have an actual like reputation in these spaces, right, as being pretty smug and arrogant, right? And it's because I don't downplay my successes, right? I don't downplay what I know. And if you challenge me on it, I'll bury you with it. Okay. And I'm firm on it. Right. See, so I'm not, this has nothing to do with success. I'm just saying that I think that your motivation might be misguided if you get a doctorate, a Juris Doctorate. And I'm saying, because I have like a dear close homie of mine who I actually hope to actually bring onto the Brain Trust to profile and interview him, because he's a very prominent member in Black music right now, and he's doing some very amazing shit. And this is a buddy of mine who and maybe when I have this discussion with him, we'll talk a little more in detail, because I grew up with him, and you know, his family went through some very challenging things, and they did some amazing things given the challenges. And that's where I kind of get my they're Guyanese, by the way. They're from Guyana, and this is kind of where I got my mindset. Largely was from his father in a lot of ways, my friend's father. And I was able to see how they were able to kind of build, they were able to amass quite a bit in a short amount of time by just by being steadfast and on the job. And you know, it had very little to do with I don't want to say gloating about successes. Your successes, those were sort of like markers or bench points. They were just sort of indicators to let you know that you're on the path, right? And what you don't want to do is, if there is a larger goal at hand, what you don't want to do is derail it by something like this. And this is why I really need to clarify here. This is not to take away from the Juris Doctorate. Man, kudos to the brother for that. But my assumption is that the intent for the Juris Doctorate was for something other than to let Black women know that you're the prize as a result of it. This is what the picture I'm trying to paint. I'm trying to say that you should reject, if you even have that notion in your head, go ahead and just throw it in the trash now. Right? Because the only thing it's going to do is bring upon you things that aren't going to help you in the long run. That was never the MO, that was never the modus operandi, that should never have been part of the agenda. And this is my whole point. I don't want brothers who are on a path to greatness by achieving something like a Juris Doctorate, by doing something like locking down a goddamn international contract or something like that. I don't want you to fuck it up, right? By just doing something provocative in social media. Please just consider it. This is my whole point.
Yeah, but do you think that people who are men who are in college are cracking open their books and in libraries saying, I'm gonna get this bitch back, man, when I finish this chapter? I don't see anybody like that. You know, I was an undergrad.
You said you don't. Do I see cracking open their books and doing what?
do you perceive that these guys are cracking open their books in college saying that, let me get back at this bitch?
My takeaway from the post, right? My takeaway from the post says that there was some motivation. I mean, otherwise, like I said, I had a homie who got a Juris Doctorate, dude. Like, he didn't really think to do that, bro. Like, we basically we had an event at a club, and we all just kind of like gave him a cheers, man, for getting the shit. That was pretty much the end all be all of it. That's why I'm like, well, I had a homie who got a Juris Doctorate.
That's anecdotal, though. That's anecdotal.
Well, it's not, it's anecdotal in the sense of what it was that my friend did as a result, yeah, but in the greater scheme, I'm just saying, if I bring up the racing analogy, dude, I've had the N-word hurled at me a shitload of times.
But that's different in college.
It's not, it's the different, no, Mike, my whole point is that when I beat the motherfuckers, right, I don't then go and say, yeah, this is for all the racist motherfuckers. It's just like, no. My whole point in doing it was to win. I don't give a shit. Like, if there's racist people who I happen to beat in the process, then so be it.
You can't compare racing to college, bro. The apples to orange comparison.
Mike, I'm talking about the motivating reasons.
Yeah, but that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's different than college. There's a lot of pressure in college. That's why you see a lot of black males drop out. There's a lot of pressure on them.
Trust and believe this. I was one who went to college. I get that. I'm not saying that.
When it comes to racing, there's no social justice movement saying black boys race. We need to get
there's no social justice movement in it. However, there is a racial component in it.
Oh, yeah.
There is a bias element in it. Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, but it's not recorded.
No, it's not exactly the same thing, Mike. But what I'm saying is my response to it. Yeah. In the environment, my response to it. And this is the only thing that I'm trying to highlight here. Okay. The only thing I'm trying to highlight here is that this doesn't ultimately do anything that's just purely beneficial. I'm sorry.
I believe Complex, right? That's your Complex?
Yes.
Okay,
hey, Complex, do you think this is a real problem?
No, let me. I'm just gonna say this real quick. It's something for Complex to think about and meditate on. If I'm not missing your point, because I feel like you think that the brother is just kind of uselessly kind of stunting, for I guess all the wrong reasons. Maybe it's impress women or whatever the case is.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a weird form of peacocking in a way.
Well,
and
so I want to answer that real quick, just to kind of put context on what he may be doing. Like, you got to understand. I don't know how long ago it was when the friend that you're talking about graduated and did his thing with his degree.
It was like around 2000.
That was around 2000. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Because then that highlights my point. This is, and I'm not saying it in a jackass way, but it's 2020 now. So now in 2020, everybody stunts online. At least these young kids do. I'm assuming this brother's still somewhere he's somewhere still in his 20s. You know what I mean? So like for him, I don't even believe he was looking at it that deep. Like over, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they do. Like, I see guys online, man. These dudes, like rappers, they get shot and they go to the hospital. They're bleeding out, and they're on Instagram Live bleeding out. You know what I mean? Like, this is what these young dudes do. Like, they just stunt. Like they do it. You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that in there.
Black dudes.
I can only speak for young black dudes. I can only speak for young black.
It's just a question. Should this kid be taking heat for this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to Smooth. Let's go to Smooth. He has his hand raised.
Hey, gentlemen.
What's going on, bro?
Good evening.
How's it going?
Not much, man. I definitely love the stream and everything, man. I'm always tuned in. And I wanted to say, I'm glad that Art spoke before me, because I was really, really hot while I was on mute. But I kind of calmed down right now. And however, I'm still going to say this. Anybody that, apart from Complex, because I understand where Complex is coming from, but anybody else that has an issue with this brother right now and what he did, you might as well go in the closet and just check out and do the Lord's work. Because the reason why I'm saying it is that I checked his Instagram, and he does look like this flamboyant Odell Beckham prototype guy, right? But you have your Odell Beckhams and then you have your Russell Wilsons. I'm sure he's not the only one in his class that graduated with a Juris Doctorate degree or whatever. It's probably some other brothers there that graduated that are not going to speak about it. But the fact that he is coming on social media and making a presence or attracting attention on this thing is important, especially for Black men in this day and age, especially the younger ones. You know, I mean, look, if you look at his family, I think his dad is a fucking judge or his uncle or whatever, so he might already be plugged in. He may not really need to, you know, shop his degree around like some others may have to. You understand? But it's important for him to come out and speak on this thing because there's somebody that is real quiet, probably some shadow watcher of the brain trust and of the manosphere that doesn't have that kind of courage. And he's going to look at what this brother posted and he's going to be inspired by that. He may not be the type to come out and say, oh yeah, look at me, I'm part of the 3% and all of that stuff, but he may as well quietly just shift himself over to the 3% and be that kind of brother as well. But the fact that everybody's trying to have something to say just because one brother out of 100 motherfuckers that you see every day will come out and say that I got a Juris Doctorate degree at fucking 25. When we see women after women after women, we always see Black women and their accomplishments. We always read their fucking long posts about how they have to overcome this, overcome molestation, overcome this. And no disrespect to them. All that shit is real. But come on, if we got a brother now, 25 years old, are you serious?
Yo, you know
something?
you see what you're saying?
Who's questioning the accomplishments? Who's questioning the accomplishments? Who's questioning the accomplishments?
I just want to say this real quick. I just want to say this. You know, somebody, you know, you see the females coming here making comments. Well, well, what is his degree supposed to be doing for the Black community? What is he supposed to be doing?
Exactly.
What the fuck
He's a nightmare for Black.
What the fuck are you worrying about that?
Nigga, I grew up in Central Europe, man. They all look like that.
You know, and why is he taking heat over that for? That's none of your. But whatever he does with his Juris Doctorate is his business. Yeah. The bottom line very simply said he got it. He went up against one of the tropes saying these women said they're the prize. He went and said, I'm the prize, said it, all right, said it. And then now you getting all this heat from people saying, what he gonna do for the community? What he gonna do? And then you got a whole lot of other people out here doing a lot of other stuff and they ain't asking jack shit about what they doing for the community while they're in the midst of it, fucking it up and talking shit simultaneously. So I see all this shit as kind of as evidentiary of the dysfunction of our community and the hypocrisy of so much of it and the true misandry of how people feel about Black men. And then here's a sister coming on our channel talking about how is he dressed? He look like he gay. All right, he look like he gay.
He looks 100% agree with the.
You stole my thunder. You stole my thunder, Nagone.
Stole your.
And then this is what you're hearing. And well, he a nightmare, this sister. He a nightmare. You goddamn right, he a nightmare. Why? Because he's on that level, maybe even above yours. You can't tell him dick. And this guy's gonna sit back here and let you know this is what time it is. This is what these sisters don't want to see.
So
they don't.
Ask the question?
They don't want you like that. That's why you're a nightmare. Now that's why you're a nightmare. Now let me explain this. Let me explain this to you.
There's other people.
Let me explain this because I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to tear all this shit out the frame. Now, when you run up on one of these Asian women, one of these gray broads or somebody else like that, and they see you with a law degree and you make a move, they're like, this is an accomplished dude. He seems like he might be a good fit for my game. Let's go with this. This is what I can work with this. But to a sister and some of these sisters out here, he a nightmare. Do I need to tell any? Is there any more debate, people? Is there any more debate?
Nope.
No.
Is there any debate?
No.
Absolutely not.
Say what?
No.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's drop the mic on this one, fam. I'm out.
All right, let's go to Black Torch and then we'll go to Tafari. Then,
Okay. Miss Evolving, I guess me and you, but see, this is the issue that we're seeing from our side as men. Anytime a Black man, you might call it peacocking or whatever, the tropes are either he's gay or he got some other things going on. It's never what he's really essentially accomplished. It's how Black women perceived him. And there's plenty of Black women with blonde wigs and gold hair and green and purple and any color of the rainbow, but men don't attack women for that. But it seems like particular interest that Black women seem to go after a man who's accomplished, that he's so-called less of a man. I'm not saying you're doing it, but you came out with the first thing you said is started looking at his appearance. And that's what, going back to what those things have said about how Black women perceive men is first physical appearance. Black women are the only group of women that first looks for physical appearance over everything else. And that's all, and which is the problem of our community. And that's all I have to say.
All right, let's go to Tafari, and then we'll go to Mrs. Evolving.
Hey, yeah. May is I'll get back to that. So what Mrs. Evolving was kind of talking about as far as like being a nightmare, my interpretation of that was a guy kind of taking advantage of Black women having so few choices and partners. That post kind of read off like, you're not, it's not really getting much better than me. So even if he'd be more likely to treat her like shit. And that's not a win for any of us as far as I'm concerned. And also I think that we just need to be mindful of raising the stakes for all of us combined, because yes, his accomplishments are great, but considering the fact that he seems to be under the impression that a lot of women, maybe from his past, have he's been hurt. That's kind of why I'm getting from it, is that he's kind of hurt. He's been bitter to some degree, and he wants to kind of just show that he rose to the occasion, to saying that he's the prize. That's not cool. Yeah, that was my interpretation.
Can anyone respond to that? Because
let's go to Mrs. Evolving. Let's go to Mrs. Evolving. She's had her hand raised.
So for me, thank you, brother, for what you just articulated there. Because the reason why I say that he would be a Black woman's nightmare is for the mere fact that by his presentation, and that I'm so glad that you said that, brother. You said it way better than I could ever even. Because by his, not only use appearance, because this is what he's choosing to do. He's choosing to present himself this way. He would appear to me to be the type of dude that would just shit on a woman, because he ain't have no problem shitting on the dudes. Because when I read that as a woman, I'm looking at him like, oh, all these other dudes ain't about nothing. He the one right there. At least that's what it came across to me as. And I think to myself, like, what circle of people is he around where he is saying this? Because let's be honest, people think of themselves as greater or whatever the case is because of the circle of people they're around. If you're around a bunch of professionals, I mean, networking, yeah, but outside of that, it's like everybody's there shitting on each other. I don't know. I guess it's because everybody in my family is educated. So it's like, I don't have grandparents. I had nobody passing anything down. So all me and my cousins, all of us, we are first generation folks that everybody just went to school, got the bag and everything. No one's talking about it. No one needs to talk about it. And listen, I'm not knocking this dude if that's what he want to do. If he want to do that, he's young and full of energy and setting the bar and showing dudes what's up. But the fact that I see him as shitting on women, I'm thinking like, damn, like in low key, again, shitting on dudes. I'm just like, who is he here? Who is he trying to attract? Because I don't like that arrogant, loud guy.
That's bullshit. He ain't shit.
Hey,
He ain't shit on the internet. That's bullshit.
No, go ahead. Let me tell you.
No, I really think that it's really just, I think that where a lot of people are getting confused, man, is that, and I really stand on this, is that it's really just a generational thing, man. I don't really believe that he's trying to take a dump on anybody. Like I said, these young brothers now, they're flossing all the time. It don't matter what it is. And there's a generation, hold on, just a second. There's a divide. There's a divide between generations where, you know, you got this dude, he accomplished what he accomplished and he's just stunting. But the thing is that we're so accustomed to brothers stunting foolishness and just all type of stupidity. I'm stunting on with my jewelry. I'm stunting with my haircut. I got these waves. Look at my car. It's candy painted, and we applaud that, you know, because we've accepted that as the norm for us. Yeah, we doing it. But when a brother like accomplishes what he does, and then he stunts, now he's a bad guy, because we look at that and we feel like, oh man, I can't compete with that. You feel me? Like that.
Well, it's not only that. It's that he was definitely answering to one of the tropes, which is said, we're the prize, and you niggas ain't shit. He's like, no, we're the prize. He answered that trope. He answered on that. That's where the young exuberance comes in. He came in and kicked that shit all up in the ass. All right, told his sisters, listen here, I'm the prize. You think you the prize? I'm the prize as well. This is what time it is. This is how I'm rolling. You know, watch me smoke. They looked at him. They looked at him and said, "Fuck you, nigga."
Yeah. Who you think you are?
Okay. And the unaccomplished sucker laid ass Negroes said, "Fuck you too." Who were running behind these same sisters who were saying, "Fuck you, nigga," and they telling them same niggas, "Fuck you too." Fuck you too. They don't understand that, but fuck you too. Yes. You a faggot. You's a sucker. And then here it is.
Look
but
at
here
your
he is.
clothes.
But here he is. But here he is walking around with a Juris Doctor. Listen, yo, is there any debate?
There is no debate.
Is
know
there
what?
any
Can I say something
debate?
really quickly?
Go
ahead.
I had my hand raised. But go ahead.
I'm sorry.
We'll swing back to Mrs. Evolving. Go ahead, Farrell.
The thing is the only thing that he was really stunting on and what he was really going at was the narrative. Because I'm a blue six-figure income blue collar brother, and I didn't get offended. If he was going at us, he did a hell of a whack ass job because I didn't get offended. But my thing was that he was stunting on the narrative. If you look at what he said on the post, it's basically the complaints what women say. It wasn't really on us guys. Really, it was pretty much the people who has a gripe and a issue with it are unproductive men. That's who he was really. If he was starting on somebody, it was really on them. That's who he's starting on, in which you should, because those type of men have had their voices way too long and look at your community. So that's who he was really going at. He wasn't people like us, because we know exactly what he said. We know exactly what he meant. So that's all I got to say on that.
All right, let's go to Complex Design. He has his hand raised.
Okay. Let's go on that premise for a second, that he did stunt on the men. I mean, dude, that's a pretty fucking tragic attempt at doing so. Because again, you know, if the last, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, or like, let's just keep it to the current context, this whole manosphere shit. I mean, how long did you see the Pookie Ray Ray shit play out, and then it transformed into the select non-select shit, which is still here go on today? I mean, I don't know. I guess from my deduction from all this is that this is just pretty much what Black culture has just decided that it wants to be preoccupied with. I think that's my takeaway from this. And again, because of that, how fucking seriously should I actually take us?
All right, let's go to Renaissance Man.
No, one thing that stood out in this whole discussion to me was people were saying that he was basically stunning, or that he was showing off. And it kind of reminded me, and I actually went and pulled it up and looked it up with Moynihan. And Moynihan, when he wrote the Moynihan report, he said he believed the matriarchal structure of the Black community robbed Black men of their birthright, which was the very essence of male, was to strut. So when people were saying, oh, he shouldn't have done this, or he shouldn't have shouldn't have done that. It was provocative. I'm like, isn't that kind of reinforcing that matriarchal thinking that Black men are not supposed to do this, when that's what men in general do, is boast and kind of peacock their accomplishments?
Well, that's the thing. Black men aren't supposed to be men. We're not supposed to be.
That just stood out to me when someone said, when we got into peacocking and strutting, that whole line of thinking.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with you. You know, because in this, as far back as you want to go into history, what even to this day, you think about it, what's probably one of the most offensive things you can call a Black man outside of the N-word? Refer to him as boy, and and that's how we're been viewed. We're still viewed that way to this day. What's the brother's name? He wrote that great book, The Man Not, I believe it was. I forgot what his name.
Dr. Tommy Curry.
Yep.
Yeah, Tommy Curry. He breaks that down beautifully in his book, The Man Not. And that's the issue. If you got a Black man that's accomplished and he's standing on that accomplishment like a man, everybody's offended.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Black Torch.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't remember the person's name, but he said that he must be hurt. If I hear one more person say that, I'm going to lose it. I am going to lose it. I am so freaking tired of hearing that. Excuse my French. That bullshit.
Who hurt you?
I mean, come on. This is the Black brain trust. We don't play that bullshit here. That talking points that, somebody hurt you and all that. No, we don't talk that. He must be effeminate and all that shit. You can tuck that to the manosphere. You don't bring that shit here. Okay, we're not that juvenile that we look at facts, and the facts are he's accomplished. He did what he had to do. Nowhere in the discussion did he talk about getting hurt, any feelings, or any of this bullshit. I'm really tired of these fucking magos coming here and bringing this bullshit up as a fucking defense. I really am, and maybe you might ban me from this, but I don't give a fuck at this point in time, because this shit is really getting really stupid.
Nah, you gotta stomp this to the earth. You gotta smash this. Have no shame and going hard on this shit. Have no shame, none.
I'm done. That's all. I was just offended by that. I was truly offended.
Yeah, not just you, man.
Yeah, that had to be said. It had to be said.
All right, there's Brooklyn in the house.
Who hurt you? You fucking hurt me. You hurt me by asking me that fucking question. You straight sucker. What's up?
All right, let's go to Smooth. Actually, who's supposed to go next?
It was Smooth.
Oh, go ahead, Smooth.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about this whole appearance discussion and everything. I just want to give a personal example. I guess it's what we call anecdotal evidence or whatever. I really suggest for most folks not to get too hung up on appearances anymore, especially in 2020. We live in a time where you have kids, signing multi-million-dollar deals off of playing video games, which is something that was seen as lazy and you don't want to do nothing. All right. Because personal story for me, I had a weed man who was 20, 21 years old, typical Pookie, had the dreads, the tats, and all of that stuff. And anytime I went over to see him, he was playing on the damn PlayStation. Let me tell you, long story short, before this pandemic really hit heavy, he was the one that told me he was going to use his money and pick up an extra zip, for those who know what that means, just so he could use that bread to invest into Netflix stocks, because he said that shit is about to go through the roof and all of that streaming. He's the one that showed me how to fucking buy stocks on the damn Cash App that I was always using to send him money through. This is a 20, 21-year-old Pook, like he fits the Pookie Ray Ray image perfectly. So please don't get hung up on this shit. These young kids nowadays, man, they ahead of us. And the fact that we're coming with all these age-old, oh yeah, he must be hurt, or look at him and look at his hair and he must, all of that bullshit, that shit ain't gonna count no more. Like seriously, y'all gotta update yourself, but like I say, check out. That's it.
Right. Tafari, go ahead.
Yeah. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so let's just keep that in mind. Talking about him being hurt, yeah, that was me speculating. I'll definitely own that. But that was based upon his post because he was giving a counter to all of the criticisms that Black women generally have about Black men. It seemed as though he was responding as to say that, I'm not these things that I've been, told. Yeah, I mean, some people choose to internalize those things. We all hear it, I myself, but I don't feel a need to flex about my accomplishments on social media, despite, being able to, no, I don't have a JD, just to clear that up, but compared to the majority of Black men, I myself am a catch, but I just don't think that going around, putting that energy out there is actually really beneficial to anyone except to have like a personal flex moment. That's all that I think it was. It wasn't really that deep to me, but I do understand why some women might be upset about it because, like I stated in the first time I spoke, is that they're more upset just as kind of like the reality of the situation is that it's really speaking ill on them, is that, yeah, there are qualified brothers out there, but they find some type of way to discredit and discount them. And, they really may want the Pookies and the Ray Rays, but, it doesn't matter because that's not the one that who's out here that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Because I just want to say this real quick. I keep telling people about a Dunkin' Donuts story. Here I am over in Scarsdale train station, sister up in there, a bunch of other mayonnaise folks up in there, but one Black woman, Scarsdale, very upper crust area. But But anyway, I don't want to get all into that. Guess I'm at a donut shop, and here's a woman, who says I cut her off, a black female. I said, "Oh, I didn't cut you off." Well, yeah, wait. I said, "Oh, no problem. All right, whatever this woman wants here, I'm gonna, buy that for her, and I'll buy my coffee. But whatever she wants, make sure you put that on my tab as well. All right." Once again, make a long story short, we did that. He rang everything up, gave the woman what she wanted. I took this woman didn't say thank you. She looked at me, dark-skinned sister too. Looked at me. I say that not as a side piece, but as a point. And then looked at me and said nothing. But looked at me like I literally fucking pissed in her fucking coffee. And then she stepped off. And I'm sitting there saying, now I'm looking at all of this and have the little vignettes like this. And then I see sisters and them getting uptight because his brother said he got his JD and said he's the prize and said fuck it and kept it moving. I'm with the young folks. My loyalty is with the young folks. I say a young cat like him, I don't care if you made a mistake, dangle your nutsacks, tell these motherfuckers everything you feel and keep it fucking moving. Keep it moving. And in fact, if he's smart, stay away from most of these fucking sisters. Stay away from most of them. Okay, and find those that can really work with you when you get your job and wherever you're going to roll with that JD. Make sure you're rolling with somebody who's going to work with you and help you build instead of looking at you like you're nothing but a resource, something to use, and something to fuck over later down the line.
Exactly.
Avoid most of them.
Yeah.
I'm talking hardcore shit. I ain't hiding shit. Motherfuckers don't like it. Fuck y'all. And that's really what
this is the toughest I've ever heard Nagon ever.
Let's go to Mrs. Evolving.
Oh, I'm going hard because it's like this is like my son. Fuck y'all out here who going against him. Fuck y'all. That's where I'm coming from.
So I understand that maybe the Pookie and the Ray Ray stereotypes have their, I guess someone got to defend it. Somebody got to speak up for the brothers who are not Pookie and Ray Ray. And maybe that's what this brother was doing. If he would have just, I don't know, I just graduated, I'm the prize, and done, fine. He wrote a long ass paragraph that screwed his own goddamn self. This has very little to do simply with him just graduating. All of that stuff that he wrote, all of those, all of his
He didn't screw himself. He screwed you. He didn't screw himself. He screwed you.
He debunked all the
Don't
talking
forget
points
that.
that women use to
He
trap
himself.
black men.
He
That's what
screwed you. That's what he did.
He didn't screw me.
That's
sweetheart.
exactly
Hold on. Let her finish. Let her finish.
I ain't talking about you per se. I'm not talking about
Let
you per
her
se.
finish. Let her
I'm talking
finish.
about you per se. I'm talking about the collective views.
I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know that the way he came across, this has very little. I'm respectfully representing Black women who are educated, who are attracted to heterosexual Black men. That's who I'm speaking for.
Well,
I'm not speaking for Black. Excuse me.
That's a
I'm not speaking for Black women who are attracted. Excuse me. I am not speaking.
Guys, you gotta let her talk. Please let her talk.
Check it out. For Black women who are
Mike, mute everybody except for her, please.
Check it out. We're gonna have cordial discourse.
Thank you.
I don't know who that was yelling in the background, bro. Not here. All right.
Let me just say this. I am not speaking for Black women who are attracted to homosexual men. There are Black women who are attracted to that type. And I hate to say this because it comes across like homosexuality. I'm just letting you know.
Your mic is evolving.
Based on
I was gonna say, I think, sister, you were bargaining.
Everything that he said in that post.
Wait, you were bargaining. Can you repeat what you just said?
Sorry. So I said everything that he had said there in that post. Everything that he had said there, and it'd be one thing if he just said, I grabbed my JD and here's me doing my thing or whatever. Yeah, haters gonna hate, sure. But with everything that he said, it's like, okay, yeah, women, you want me, women, you want me. And like I said, I go back to he would be a Black woman's, educated Black woman's nightmare, because this would be a person you would say to yourself, oh, damn, I really think the brother got, whatever, but he got all this other stuff going on with him. And the thing about it is, yes, no one's perfect, but when you say that you are a prize, you know what? There's a saying they have in Jamaica that says, the higher the monkey climb, the more you can see him. If he didn't put himself up there and say the thing that he was saying there, no one would have anything. Just say, you know what? This guy, do your thing, do your thing. You go up there and say that you're a prize. A prize maybe to a man who's on the borderline, who's maybe interested in you, because he specifically was talking about him being not just a prize, him being a prize to a Black woman. So therefore, any Black woman could look and say, nah, bruh, you ain't my type. I don't go down like that. Me, you can't be at the nail salon together, brother. We cannot be getting our eyebrows arched together, brother. Oh no, when I put on my heels, you cannot put on heels too. There's no JD that's gonna make me ignore the fact that you up in a race with me. Nah, bro, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, because guess what? You're gonna take your pretty ass right there and open up that trunk, okay? Just like if I decide I wanna go ahead and have some long ass fingernails, I better go back in that kitchen and still be able to cook. I better go be able to clean. I better be able to do my part. That's why I said he is a Black woman, an educated Black woman's nightmare. Because this is a man that after he's done, after you've acknowledged his accomplishments, you have to literally sit back and ignore the fact that he up to some other shit. Every Friday night, I'd be worried about where the hell he going. I would have to smell his underwear every single night, because not for no other reason besides I think that he likes something inside of his butthole, and that's just, I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
Yo, you gotta cut that off.
Walden,
No.
that sounds
No,
like
see?
that really just sounds like insecurity.
Wait. Everybody wait.
One at a time.
Mike,
One at a time.
All right. You can't talk over everybody. If people have their hands raised, you have to allow the people who have their hands raised to speak first.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. Let's go to complex design.
Okay, that was a bit of a slippery slope there. I want to try to rein it back in, just kind of more to an imperative that works to the benefit of Black men specifically now. I just don't know if that's like the best application for, the best application of social media for what we would be trying to project, right? As say like us as being prized male counterparts. Okay. I think that largely has to do in what it is that we create. That's why I said, okay, is your success measured by the fact that you've now been able to stake a claim to women that you are now the prize as a result of the Juris Doctorate? Or is the goal here to create something utilizing the Juris Doctorate, which basically shows to the world how much of a prize you are? This is kind of, that's the only angle in which I'm challenging this. Like, it's not really about like, that's why I was like, okay, that's a slippery slope I really wasn't trying to go down, because I'm not questioning his sexuality. I didn't even really look at the picture of the guy to really even been able to kind of extrapolate that. I don't know. And I don't know if I want to go look at his picture at this point. I'm kind of just going on the premise of a dude who got his Juris Doctorate and then basically proclaimed to a specific group of people that he is now the prize as a result. And I was just kind of like, I think that was a miscalculation. And that's just really my take on it.
Yeah. Let's go to Black Torch.
Again, I guess I got to be the bad guy today, but I'm tired of Black women coming up with these veiled alternative rainbow coalition attacks against Black men who they feel that they can throw out at any point in terms that saying they got to smell their underwear. Where in this whole discussion is his sexuality? If anything, he affirmed his sexuality by saying that he was the prize. And wearing heels and all this is just another veiled attempt, I'm sorry to say, of the last ditch effort by Black women to taint and disparage a man's character based on what? Because he lets you know what his value is. I'm sorry. I'm really really
resist.
I'm really hurt by this, because it showed that I read this book, The Daughters of the Trade, and that hurt me so much. It hurt me to the soul. I literally cried when I was reading this book, because I could not believe that this is what we went through. And now every time they come up here and say these things, it's just another knife in the soul. I'm sorry.
All right,
maybe I don't.
It's like rats to the cheese. They
I just don't get it. Maybe
like
I'm emotional about this, but I really can't. When I graduated, I have a STEM degree. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in STEM. And in graduate school, I'm the only Black person. You know how bad that is? I feel when I'm going to my advisors and talking to them. You know how bad I feel most of the time, because I got to be 3 times as better than they do. Of anybody, these Chinese dudes, these Indian dudes, these Russian dudes. But yet, I still, and then I got to worry about a Black woman calling me gay or or some kind of a thing because I don't have the time or the inclination to talk to her, or it's a really and that's why I applaud the younger generation, because I'm 20 years older than the youngest undergraduate student, and I'm telling you, I applaud them, because they don't have these hangups. They don't. They just do what they got to do and say fuck it. And that's all I got to say. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go to Tafari.
Okay.
I don't think he's there.
I think he dropped off. Okay, let's go to DE Raptor.
I'm kind of perturbed. I don't like to get this conversation with these educated Black women, because this is about male agency. This is about a Black man saying, okay, I hear you. And you were saying that, da 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 da, And here's what I have to say in return. I am somebody. I'm a black man who has done this. You cannot argue with his conversation. You can't argue with his statement. So what do? So-called educated, that you hate that he's gonna have to deal with educated black woman can't deal with him. And you're showing it. You're going to his sexuality, to other foolishness. It's about male
Mike, can I ask a
agency.
question? Mike, can I ask a question?
About male agency.
Mike, can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Male agency.
Go ahead.
Not about this, he can't deal with it. Sorry for educated black. It's about male agency. I am a black man. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm not accepting this foolishness anymore. You want to carry on with your foolishness? Go your way.
You know,
I am the prize. I am the prize. And if you can't deal with it, goodbye.
I am so glad that you are saying that. I have a son that's the only child that I have, and I hope that that's exactly how he feels about himself, that he is a prize. This has nothing to do per se with him having that degree. I don't even know where that, every time a man says he's educated, he gotta be gay. I mean, first of all, that argument is just stupid. But whatever. But the thing that I'm saying is he specifically is saying in his post, and anyone on here who
we just going on what you said, sweetheart. We just going on what you said. That's all. We going on what you said.
You know what it is? I realize that some people have went to his Instagram page, looked at that post, and looked at his account, and some people may have not. So some people may literally be going around in this discussion here, just stuck on the fact that he has this accomplishment and he said that he's the prize. I am not. I'm beyond that, because initially when I saw it, when somebody showed it to me, I did not really think first anything about his sexuality. In fact, that's what the person said to me. And I said, well, I don't see nothing wrong with him saying he got it. Like, so what's wrong with him saying he have it? And she said, well, I don't really think he's interested in women like that. And I'm like, where did you get that from? And so I'm looking on there, and as I'm looking, I'm thinking to myself, like, when I read the post again, I'm thinking when I read the post the second time, I'm like, wait a second, this man, it's like he's, to be honest with you, I really don't even know who is he really saying he is appealing to. Who is he appealing to? Hey, I'm the catch for you.
See, Mike, this is what we're talking about.
Okay, never
See,
mind.
This is what we're talking about. See how she changed it? You gotta, Mike. This is you're bringing up facts. Okay, in the court of law, this is what. Wait. This is in the court of law. You're bringing up facts that don't exist anywhere else. This is something that you made up and someone else made up based on what facts?
Based on the fact that he said he would be. He was doing this to appeal to women. So if men can describe that he's attractive, if men can speak on his attraction, that is the only thing I am saying.
Wait. Man didn't say anything about his attractiveness. Men said something about his accomplishment. Exactly. You're mixing the two. There's two different things. No, wait. You got it. You can't mix the two, because what you're doing, you're trying to muddle. Wait. Misevolving. What you're doing is mixing the argument. The structure. What he said. He named his accomplishment. He put counterpoints. What you're doing now is bringing facts that you're interpreting based on facts that's not been introduced anywhere. I'm sorry. Okay.
This isn't going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere. I want to go.
Go ahead, Nagon. I don't get this.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, my bad. I was just muted. I just wanted to just kind of say this, like, as I'm listening to this, right across from me, sitting on the couch, my 6-year-old son, and I'm thinking to myself that I would 100% want him to go online and boast and brag about his accomplishments the same way that this brother did, because I don't think we're really understanding how important it is for him to do that when you go online every day and we're drowning in a sea of ignorance online as it pertains to our imagery that we're putting out ourselves. As far as what we choose to boast and brag about, what this brother did was extremely important and necessary, when you look at the conversations that has started from it, it's irrelevant that you got people that don't like it. It doesn't matter. What this brother's on the path to doing, if the dominoes fall the way I would like it to fall, is creating a new norm. Because like I said earlier, the norm currently is if you on some foolishness, you can brag, you can stunt, you can say whatever, and there's no pushback. But when you become accomplished like he has, it's an issue. And I was just looking at his Instagram page for the first time while you were all talking. It's it's extremely important that not only he accomplished what he did, but bragged about it the way he did, considering how he looks. Because how he looks, how he's dressed with the blonde hair, the whole kind of Odell Beckham Jr. swag, that is the new black man, more or less, to a degree. I'm not saying they're all like that. We all know that's not the case. But there's a good portion of us that, that's how we are. That's our vibe. I'm not saying me, I'm 35, but that's their vibe.
They're liberal.
And you need a brother like that to be a lawyer. You need a brother like that to be a judge. You understand what I'm saying? Because it also shows that he knows us. He knows where he comes from. He knows his people. You get what I'm saying? So I'm all for it. We need more of these brothers to brag like this so that this becomes a new norm. That I went to college, I did X, Y, and Z. Here I am. I didn't become a statistic. And that's all I got to say about that. This has to be the new norm. We need more of that.
All right, let me go to Onyx Sentinel, and we're going to close out with Miss Evolving. Go ahead, Onyx.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
All right. I don't know if you guys went over the tweet. Apparently, there was a tweet that he posted first, and then everyone went to his page. So the tweet was pretty much saying that he failed his bar exam, and he wasn't. It was hard for him to celebrate the fact that his friend who he went to school with passed it. And then from there, it went to his Instagram page. I don't know if that information is relevant. I just came in. I just wanted to throw that out there. But
most people, 99% of the people who go for the bar usually fail it.
And I want to
Let me just finish before everyone goes in. Let me just finish before everybody goes in. See, my thing is, I didn't know that there's a high fail rate, but the fact that he failed, he's still going to try to go back again, which is the main thing. Like, not everyone, passes hard exams the first time.
Yeah.
And this just goes into the prize thing. This dude is part of the cream of the crop of black men in America. He's part of the 3% top, yes. Right? And for him to state all facts, what he did, statistical facts, and for women to have this backlash, it's just like, yo, just say you hate black men. Just say you hate black men who state facts and they have a certain opinion about themselves. And then we can move forward. Once you identify yourself as a misandrist, then we will know to avoid you. That's all I pretty much have to say.
All right, let's go to Smooth.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, like all the other brothers have already said, it's really sad. Like I'm really sad. I know I was all fiery, but when it settles down, it's like it's really sad that this is how we're looked at, by our own women and all that. Because like the other brother said, this guy's in the upper 3%, and the fact that that is not celebrated. Yet if this man, and no disrespect to my blue collar brothers out there, I love y'all, but if this man had said, oh yeah, I just got I just opened up a pizza shop, or I got my CDL, or I just graduated out of high school at 35, that kind of shit would be more celebrated. Everybody's trying to go in on this man's looks and questioning his sexuality because he made it up to the 3%. I know the sister before was saying that it's not a big deal because everybody in her family is educated. I completely understand where she's coming from, because that's my family as well, But if you look at the whole black community as one big black family, the way most dominant societies look at us anyway, you will come to see that not everybody in this big black family is fucking educated, especially the black men. So if we have one that has made it to the top now, and that has raised his value to that level, to be in the upper 3%, then you look at that same family, and the women in that family are questioning his sexuality, are questioning whether he's going to be faithful. Nothing to do with how he can actually help the family. No, we're first going to attack his sexuality, the fact that he's boisterous, and the fact that he may not make a good husband for a black woman. That's how we're supposed to assess this brother's value, huh? So I need to ask Miss the lady before. You said you have a son. So if your son is able to acquire 2 degrees under 30, and he boasts about it on Instagram and stuff, are you gonna tell him take that post down because you ain't supposed to be fronting like that? And all black women ain't that bad, even though he literally laid down the facts. All the shit that you hear sisters say about black men and why they can't date black men. He has checked every single box. But no, we gotta question his sexuality, even if he would tell you he's heterosexual, huh? I mean,
all right. Let's go to Mike.
Shit.
Kendra, can you hear us? You can unmute your mic.
Yeah, I don't know if she can hear us.
She might be away from the system.
Hello? Hello?
I'm not away. I'm here.
Wait.
Okay.
There's Kendra. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Chilling.
I'm gonna be real quick because you know how I am about panels.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting to me how we are having a problem with this man making the post that he made on any condition. If we talk about, well, he should have more humility, he shouldn't flex like that. Men are judged primarily on accomplishments, what they're able to do with themselves, with their life, how intelligent they are, how far they can rise in the social strata. And if they do that, why wouldn't they be able to come out and say, I did that? Women are judged mostly on our looks, how sexy we are, our appeal, and this and that. When you got Instagram models flexing, do we tell them they should have more humility and they shouldn't show up naked like that because they flexing on the other women that don't look as good, and they stunting on the other women that don't look like that, and everybody can't look like that? Nobody shames them. Nobody shames them. Nobody says that they shouldn't make their videos that way, or they shouldn't take back shot pictures like that. But when a man comes along, particularly a black man, and says, listen, I have avoided the major pitfalls that black men usually go through in this country, then that puts me in a small percentage of men that would be considered high value. Why is he unable to say that? And for the young lady who went on to question his sexuality based on the post, I saw nothing in that post. And I'm looking at the post right now on Instagram. I saw nothing in that post that even alluded to anything. He offered himself up to the ladies. He was talking about women and what black women specifically say that they want in a man, and basically saying, I've achieved it, so now what? And I'm trying to figure out what's the problem now with black women. So he's checked every box, and now we've got a hidden box about his sexuality, and he has to be alternative now because he's went ahead and checked those boxes. So we can't actually relent and say, okay, brother, kudos to you for having done that. You know what I'm saying? This is what we want out of black men. This is what we want our men to do. You can't sit up on the one hand and say, we want our men to achieve X, Y, and Z. And then when the men come out and say, hey, I've achieved X, Y, and Z, we get to drag them through social media because they don't have humility and they're bragging and they're quote unquote putting women down. When he didn't say anything in that post about putting women down, he said nothing about the merits of black women. Nothing.
I have my hand raised.
I'm sorry.
Answer? No, I'm just saying, can I respond after you're done?
Sure. Actually, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm really just trying to keep my bearings here. How old is this young man? How old is he?
I think he's 28.
28. He's 28. And so his sexuality is being called into question because he's achieved something. He's obtained something that would indicate that he possesses some level of competency. Am I to understand this correctly?
No, they're questioning his sexuality due off of, it's once again, it's a generational thing. You know, you got brothers now that like to do the whole blonde hair thing. They're not gay. There's nothing wrong with them, but that's just their swag. So that's where that questioning of the sexuality.
Okay. Let me just get to a greater point here. The whole point here is that brothers like him, we speak of him as if he is the only one, when in all actuality, there's some on the panel right now. I'll raise my hand and say I'm one of them. Okay, because see, given that I'm 43, so I got a few years on him. However, when I was doing my thing back in my 20s and I built my first company, that company was making some money and all that kind of shit, do you think it was anything different? Do you think that I wasn't being called gay by sisters? How was it any different? Just curious. I mean, the social media platforms that exist now didn't exist then, but how was the sentiment any different? I'm curious.
I don't think the sentiment has been.
It wasn't, and it isn't.
No.
What the fuck is new under the sun? This is my whole point. I don't know. So I'm just saying, like, well, if nothing is actually changed, then this is all the same. So him making this proclamation means absolutely what? At the end of the day, what the fuck is this going to accomplish?
It actually opens up a conversation about misandry.
It does open the conversation, and I don't know that his post necessarily needed to accomplish something larger than he wanted to say it on social media. I'm sorry.
Kendra, let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
I said, how long has this issue been going on? How long has this been an issue? How long has this stuff been talked about in this space here? What actual headway has actually been made? Have you seen any change or any sort of, I'm confused here.
Now I'm confused, because are we saying that we aren't supposed to speak on these things because
what I'm saying is that we're speaking on things that are self-evident and we already know it.
But yeah, we know it. But how many men have to actually come into it?
Yeah,
that's the point.
How many more Antoine Fishers do we need? How many more Antoine Fishers do we need?
I was going to add too, I was surprised to see the men attacking. That was a surprise to me.
That was the purpose of the live stream. It was the purpose of it.
Can I say something?
Go right ahead.
So I'm glad that the sister highlighted that he was saying that he is a catch. He was appealing to women. Women, here, come get me. So I am responding to that because of all the things he said. Because no one is taking away his accomplishments. No one is taking away from that. He should be able to brag and applaud. He deserves the applause for what he accomplished. No one is taking that away from him. He said, when he said, come get me, ladies, or pretty much I'm the prize, or look at me, I know you want me, or I'm rare. First of all, I think we have to be very careful, because sometimes we say things are an exception that are not as much as an exception. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not trying to downplay anything he's saying, but I guess this is my problem, because they're the Pookie and Ray Rays, I don't even hang out with them. I mean, I don't even have conversations with them. I'm here on the Black Brain Trust because all of you brothers are worthy of, in my opinion, of me having a conversation with you, and likewise. I think, how should I say, and I believe vice versa, right? But for me, when I'm looking at a brother like this saying, okay, what woman can be attracted to that? But I'm saying it not because of his accomplishments, because of the way he is choosing to present himself. But like the brother said, he's young, could be going through something. And maybe that's the thing that women go for. I don't know. I had the same questions, and I'm sure I'd be massacred for saying it, about, what's her name, Megan Thee Stallion. She presents herself to be very educated, and you can't stop seeing her meat flashing all over, social media. So, I mean, can you take away from the fact that she is focused on her education, meanwhile she's trying to manage all of this, and still yet representing this other thing?
Meg Stein a bad example. She not.
I just wanted to ask.
It probably was a stretch. It probably was a stretch. But
Do you feel you got to check this brother's drawers?
You said, do I feel like I have to check? I said that. Okay, that was a little extreme. But the reason why I said
a little, okay, I know. Okay.
It was a little extreme. I'm just,
you know what?
Let her finish, and then we can cross-examine that thing, because that's crazy.
Listen, you put your little phone on, you put your little. So listen, I come from a Jamaican family. If you Google Jamaican man, you will see tight pants and loud, bright, crazy shirts. There's nothing about the flamboyant thing that he's carrying on with that shocks me. What shocks me is that, again, in his post, he's saying, hey, women, you want me, you want me, you want me, you want me. And I'm just thinking to myself, where are you getting this idea from that a woman would want you with that feminine appearance? This has nothing to do at all with him having the JD. Nothing at all to do with it. Like I said, the higher the monkey climb, the more you can see him. He drew attention to himself. I was all appalled when I seen whatever he was posted about graduating. I think that is a great accumplishment.
Okay.
I was just gonna say in this
But it
speech,
took
though.
for one woman to change.
Wait. Are you finished? Miss Evolving, are you finished?
His appeal was not to men. He wasn't saying men can't come get me. He was saying women come get me. And
okay, Miss Evolving, you're talking both sides of your face here. And I'm sorry, I gotta tell you this. You are.
We want to get Crimson Curing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just needed to say that.
And then we're gonna end the live stream.
Okay.
I'll try to be succinct here. You're saying that, well, he offered himself to the ladies, so the ladies are responding. His post is a response. That post is a response to years of Black women making those very complaints. We don't want to date men that are full of baby mama drama. We don't want to date men that have criminal history records. We don't want to date men that aren't educated. We don't want to date men that don't make a certain figure amount, that can't go into certain social circles and exist. We don't want men like this. We don't want to date down. We don't want to have to choose from men who haven't accomplished as much as I'm able to accomplish. This has been the rhetoric. So his post is a response to that rhetoric by saying, you know what? I checked those boxes that the collective of Black women say that they don't want a man who's ever been to jail, et cetera, then I've done just that. So what about me? What about me? What kind of consideration should I get from the collective of Black women? And you know what the answer was? You ain't ish, just like the rest of them ain't. We don't care what you did. That was the response.
And you know what? I'd apologize if it came across that I was downplaying him earning that JD, because I really don't understand how. I don't. Listen, if a Black educated man, if you are in a circle, if that's your circle of people that you with and you're hanging around every single day, then I can clearly understand where you have to brag, you have to put it out there. But I'm just so sorry. And I hate to sound like this. It's just because of the circle of people that I'm around. It's like we're all educated. I don't know. So I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, thank you all for joining us, man. Please hit the like button if not already done so. Share the video if possible and hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust when those posted on the community tab. Thank you to Kendra for stopping through, and Mrs. Evolving as well, and as the rest of the panelists who did earlier in the live stream. Shalom.